All right, so I think the stream thinking about things ready to go though. So hello everybody, ZardX here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting podcast episode. That'd be my ZardCast episode 114. Now I know what some of y'all might be saying. Dang, where the heck has this man been? Look, I've been busy lately. I know I hadn't put much of hardly anything out on the channel as of late, but I'm hoping that changes from this episode in the podcast moving forward because I finally got to look at my upload schedule. I think I got a lot of stuff planned out between now and what will be the end of December. So I got some videos and stuff to record and edit and do all of that fun stuff though. But that's a little bit of mini update. I just been out of the loop because I just been that busy though. But in terms of the topics that we got here for tonight, I've got quite a bit of stuff. And I know we should have had the podcast last episode, but Steven was traveling on us. How's it going, man?
It is going good. I had a good time traveling. I was just, I was caught up between a lot of stuff at work, and I finally got a little bit of a break from it, and I feel a lot better, honestly.
Yeah, that's always good to hear. Sometimes you got to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, no, and I'm back, and it's the season of spending. We're almost there, Zard. We're
Oh
almost at
gosh,
Black
the fact that it
Friday.
is Black Friday and
It's
stuff. I mean, it's always
like
weird with Black Friday because they always do like the pre-Black Friday stuff almost as early as like that week of Halloween.
yes,
And they got
like
me on one thing, Steven, because
yeah,
there was a TV sale, and I was saying, you know what, that was like the last big bit of my trifecta of like big technology purchases I wanted to make. Like I wanted to get a new PC, I wanted to get a Switch 2, and then the last
yeah.
thing was a new TV that would be able to support 4K and 120. And that was the last thing. And then I saw this sale for Best Buy, and it was like normally it's a TV that goes for like 2K, and they slashed it by like 55%. So we're talking about less than 1K. I was like, oh wait, hold up here. Let me just scroll up here to Best Buy. So that was the first big major Best Buy, not Best Buy, Black Friday sale I gotten, and it's probably the best deal I'll probably have gotten so far. I'm still got my eyes laid out for a couple of things though, but we'll keep talking about it as the
Yeah.
season progresses on though.
I may have slightly splurged, I'll admit. I got a drawing tablet because my old one's been giving me issues.
Hmm.
And the original price is $900. I got it for $660.
Not bad, not bad.
It's a really nice one. It's like 18 inches, which is pretty big. It's not 19 inches of Venom, but it's like big enough. It's got. I think it's, and the nice thing, I don't think it needs to be connected to a computer. This thing can run by itself on Bluetooth, so I can Bluetooth connect it to my computer, or I can just do it on the tablet
Mm-hmm.
itself. It's basically just its own tablet, but like specifically designed for the the drawing. It's 4K resolution as well. It supports a couple different things on there: Chrome OS, Android, Windows.
Okay.
So it's just gonna be a little device I could like sit in bed and draw with, or like I could bring it upstairs and draw while I'm hanging out with family. It would just be nicer to use compared to the one I have right now, which has to stay connected to my computer, and the wire's not long enough. It's fucking annoying.
I gotcha. No,
My
not.
That's my big purchase for myself. I'm not gonna go all out for anything else for me.
There's a couple other things I kind of want to a little bit, but it depends on the sales.
I completely understand. Trust me. I stopped myself yesterday from getting something else.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, we'll talk more about Black Friday as we. Well, there's one little spot we'll stick in the show because Nintendo talked about some of their Black Friday deals with some of the retailers and stuff. Not necessarily, it's not the eShop dedicated one, but that'll probably be in the next episode when we'll bring that up if the
Yeah.
calendar lines up and the stuff is still live and all of that though. But in terms of other stuff we gotta go through and talk about, we managed to get that Mario Galaxy movie direct. That happened this past week. So we got Nintendo put out a lot of news this past week. To be honest though, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment that has came out between the past episode of us doing the pod, so we got to give our thoughts on that. Apparently GTA 6 has gotten delayed again. I'm like, oh, good gracious sakes alive. We had a state of play that was focused more on the Japanese audience, so we'll give a few thoughts on that. And then I guess we got some news for a new Nintendo Switch 2 edition game. What game is that? We'll get to that here in a second, though. Legend ZA, we finally got details on that in terms of its DLC and when it's supposed to be releasing as well, though. Got Metroid Prime 4 news, finally, but you can't ever catch a break with that game. We almost get all the way to the finish line, and then people still manage to throw a tizzy over that. And then, I say probably the biggest news of the whole entire night, the fact that Valve came out with 3 different pieces of hardware, one of them being their bridge between PC and console gaming. Then they had a VR set and had a controller, so we'll give all of our thoughts on that, though. But that's just a highlight of a handful of topics. We have a few more to kind of scattered in between all of that, though. But that just kind of, gives you a general slate of everything we have to go through and talk about tonight. So it's going to be a packed show, and we're going to try to keep this train rolling. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into that pop culture segment. All right, Steven. Man, you know what? I was looking at this trailer. We got 2 movies to talk about. We'll get to the Mario movie one here in a second, because I have to at least tip my hat off to this one, because for better or for worse, we finally got that teaser trailer for Toy Story 5, and I was looking at this mess and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, Steven. I mean, to be fair, I felt like the Toy Story series should have ended after the 3rd movie. That's where I felt like it really should have ended. They did the 4th one. I was like, okay, whatever. They're gonna stretch it out. It's Pixar, one of their biggest friends or biggest series. So I was like, okay, I get it. They're after the money. I would too if I was in their position. Makes sense. And then they ended on 4. I was like, that's got to be the end, or at least you got to have like different cast of characters. They can keep doing Toy Story, but not with the traditional Woody and Buzz. And then I see them in this teaser trailer, and Woody's back. And I was like, wait a minute. They said bye to Woody in the last movie. What are we doing over here?
Money. It's all money.
It doesn't make any sense to me, because the fact that you also got Forky there as well. So are they going to explain why the dude's back in the fold? Are they going to give a little bit of backstory up on this? I know I'm asking a lot of questions, and they ain't going to answer
What do
none of
you
these
think
things.
they're going to do, huh? I want your opinions, Zard. Do you think they're going to do any of that?
Man, absolutely not.
I don't have any thoughts on Toy Story 5. Like, yeah, the iPad is gonna be the villain. They're probably gonna try to make the iPad sympathetic. Like, oh, it's so magical what the technology. It's gonna have some kind of like message about technology and how we improve this as society enough to where we can give our kids like all this entertainment at their fingertips and this and that. It's probably going to try to have some message about how, like, oh, toys will never be replaced. Toys will still be in the hearts of children everywhere, no matter how times change. It's going to have some stupid message like that. And then I think it also has, it was kind of in that press release they did, where there's going to be, like, this army of, like, Buzz Lightyear, like, robots. There's going to be another, like, villain in the movie. I don't know if you've seen that.
I want to say I think I did. It's been a while since I probably saw it.
I genuinely don't know. I don't understand why they're doing Toy Story 5. It looks nice, obviously. Visually, it's gonna be a nice movie, and this, and fucking this, and that. But, like, I just don't have the energy. It's like, whatever. You know what I mean? I can't be excited for it, but it might be good. That's the only thought I can have.
Yeah, I know. It might be good. I'm not necessarily docking the whole movie just based off of that. But I don't know. At some point, not that it truly really devalues previous movies that are done before this, though, but more like anything you could basically do from this point moving forward, though. I don't know. Because I feel like, if you ever heard the saying, too much of a good thing's a bad thing, that's where the Toy Story series is. It might be kind of leaning towards this point, because what happens whenever something happens to one of their voice actors? At that point, they probably would not touch this thing again, or at least not with
already happened.
Well, it happened with some people, but not like a Woody or a Buzz per se. Not one.
I think it was like Mr. Potato Head or something.
Maybe, but he's not super major at the forefront. Like, if something would have happened to Woody or Buzz, then they would call it for sure at that point.
I don't think so. I think there's way too much marketing for those characters. I don't think they would. I think Disney's just gotten really lucky.
Hmm.
Like, they don't do that a lot. What happened, let's just give a example with Disney. The stuff that happened with Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther, that was like specific circumstance for that. Like, that's a situation where like the actor himself really defined the character. Like, as much as I hate to say it, Woody and Buzz, like, yeah, they would probably just get an actor that sounds similar. It's Disney. Come on.
I don't know if
That's
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 if
my
that's the
take.
case, then it's like, all right, whatever. I don't know. I might not be as attached to the hip to it as like I was with the first three movies. I feel like
You
I
you want
grown
to know
up
what
with
I
this
don't
thing,
get?
but
I think Toy Story just lends itself better to a show. Have like a long running, high budget show with their misadventures. I think doing a whole movie, making it like a theatrical event, is a huge waste. Like, what was it? Did you ever see the movies they had on, like, the short movies they had on Disney Plus? It was like That Time Forgot or something.
oh, I think I saw it. I want to say I
Like,
did.
I like those. I
I mean,
like
most
seeing
of
this
those
cast
little
of
shorts, I'm
characters.
I'm always okay because I mean,
Yeah,
you watch this little thing, you get in and out. I like watching shorts. It's just
yeah.
yeah.
I think that's a better idea. Like a couple 30-minute shorts with the cast. I would prefer that compared to what they're trying to do right now. That's just my take, though. Like, I would personally prefer that instead of another goddamn movie. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until I don't, I can't remember if we actually have a concrete release date for this movie yet. I think.
I don't know.
All right,
I
I'll
if I
go.
had to make if
Oh
I had to
nope,
make a
it's next
guess,
year. Next year, June 19th, 2026.
damn it.
What were you thinking?
I was hoping like 2027, so it would hopefully at least have some time for them to maybe take a little bit of feedback.
Nah. They don't operate like that. That's not how they
I know, because
roll.
the iPad is just such a stupid idea.
Mm, I got more things to say about that, but I'll save it for another time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll get another trailer for this movie eventually.
all right. But that's all I got to say on Toy Story 5 and its teaser trailer. Now let's go ahead and drop it over to a little bit more of an interesting trailer here because we finally managed to get a trailer for the next Mario movie. And we knew that the movie was going to be centered around Mario Galaxy, as what they kind of alluded to at the Mario 40th anniversary. That first 20 minutes of that September direct, that was all dedicated to their anniversary before we got the regular General Nintendo Direct for the rest of that showcase. Yeah, so we already knew it was Galaxy. We finally got this trailer for it because it literally comes out springtime of next year, so it's right around the corner. And man, this trailer right here, though, you know what? I was rolling when they finally got to the new characters and who was casting them. I was like, "Oh freaking shoot!" All right, so we got to break it down bit by bit. Uh, 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 dang it! All right, we're starting with the new characters, and then we'll talk about anything we
Alright.
saw in the trailers. Obviously, first up, you can't have a Galaxy Center focused movie without Rosalina being up in the mix. And I was like, oh, okay, Rosalina looks good. You know, nothing trippy or nothing weird about her character, the way how they kind of portrayed her on the big screen and stuff like that. Like, you know, she looks like Rosalina. But then when I started hearing her talk, I was like, you know what? She sounds oddly familiar a little bit. I was like, who is this voice actor? Brie Larson showed up and I was rolling on my bed. Like, you remember the original cast of characters whenever they hit us with all of those people with the Chris
Yeah,
Pratt? I was rolling
like
on my bed when I saw her. I wasn't thinking about her being
like
Rosalina, but it made sense for
you know
like,
what?
holy shoot.
Here's the thing. I don't really like her as Captain Marvel. I thought as Captain Marvel she was pretty fucking boring, honestly. But you know what? I think she's fine as Rosalina. From the couple clips we heard, she sounded pretty good as Rosalina. Like this calm but like powerful princess. Obviously they're going for in like this caring like mother figure. I think she did good, and obviously she's a big Nintendo fan. She's like gone on about that before.
Mm-hmm.
Which, she was in a couple Switch 2 ads. she's gone on a record saying that like she really likes Galaxy. Funnily enough, a couple years back.
Yeah.
Obviously it could just be all for show. She's a goddamn celebrity after all, but like, it's cool obviously to at least get someone that kind of actually knows something about the Mario games. Oh, who knows? Maybe she'll use that knowledge of the games to
The
depict
better
Rosalina
portray the
a
character
little
of
bit better.
Rosalina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, and she looks good. Obviously, all of the characters look good. I don't really have any issues like I did when Peach was originally revealed, and Peach's face kind of looks weird still, but whatever.
Yeah, so I was thinking, you know what, Rosalina. Some people, they might not like, some of the work that Brie Larson did in other movies. That's perfectly fine. But I wouldn't say if you just absolutely hate her as a person,
Yeah.
actor, or whatever, that should stop you from watching the movie. I'd say far from it. But regardless, though, I was like, okay, all right, Rosalina, that made sense right there. That made sense. But then I was like, who else they're gonna put up in the movie? Because it's not gonna be just Rosalina. They got to put at least a little bit more. I was thinking we're finally gonna see the casting for Yoshi, but no, 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 because they
They're
they
old
they,
enough.
they pulled out another villain I wasn't expecting to show up in this movie. We're talking about the son of Bowser himself, Bowser Jr. And I was like, okay. Because it just kind of dawned on me now because Bowser Jr. was more, or not even more, he was a threat in Galaxy 1 and not really had a presence at all, really, at Galaxy 2. And I know they're probably going to make references to probably both of the games in this one movie, though. But it makes sense why Bowser Jr. will, show up in this movie now. So I'm like, oh, okay, I can see it.
He was in Galaxy 2 just as much as he was in Galaxy
Was he
1.
now? Because
Yes. Yes, he was.
dog, has it really been that
If
long?
anything, he is a more memorable presence in Galaxy 2.
I
Because, for example, in the
I
first
feel like
game,
more so
okay,
in the first one, but
in the first game, yes, he has Mega Leg, like that machine. The first boss is Mega Leg, which is like, obviously like because it's, that game swaps between Bowser Jr. and Bowser for the bosses. He has the Mega Leg fight, he has the airship fight, and then for the last one, the last one is kind of lazy. It's just a rematch of that squid fight from the beginning of the game. That's Galaxy 1. Galaxy 2, he's got the giant hammer thing, the Mega Hammer. He's also got that, remember that dragon eel thing, Gobblegut? The eel with all the bumps in its belly from Galaxy 2?
it's been a while. It's been over a decade since I
Well,
last
either
played.
it's
Oh,
the Mario Kart course Dragon Driftway?
hold up! I just pulled up
It's
like some kind of
yeah,
random old
just
video. Okay.
yeah, either way, yeah, I think his bosses in Galaxy 2 are more memorable. You got the Gobblegut fight, which he was like summons. You have the Mega Hammer, which is that giant machine he uses that you hit back. And then he has, for the last fight, is my favorite. He's got this giant tank that he attacks you with. So he's honestly more prominent in Galaxy 2. But yeah, he's obviously the most prominent in those games. Like, he's not really appeared that much in other Mario games. I don't know. The only games he's
The
really
2D
been
Mario
prominent.
ones, I guess, but
Yeah, the only Galaxy games, sorry, not the only Mario games that I can say he's even been somewhat a main character in was Sunshine and Bowser's Fury. That's really it. Like he's not in Odyssey, obviously. He's nowhere even in Odyssey at all.
yeah,
He was nowhere in 3D World before Bowser's Fury. He's just a character they pull out whenever they want to. He's mostly in the RPGs, honestly.
yeah. So I like Bowser Jr. I like
I
the
like
way
him.
how he's doing this stuff. And then in terms of his actor, though, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember his actor on this one. You know off the top of your
I
head?
know it. Yes, it's Benny Safdie,
Yeah. So
which
Benny.
I think I don't know. I know for a fact you've never seen the movie. I think
Oh, the
he
Happy
either
Gilmore.
directed, not happy. Well, the Adam Sandler movie, Uncut Gems.
Hmm. No, I hadn't seen that one.
Well, it's an adult oriented movie. It's like one of the few adult oriented Adam Sandler movies. Is all you need to know. Because when they introduce him, the Illumination guy, he's like, oh, a real uncut gem, Benny Safdie, and I'm like, oh, I get that reference.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. He did a good job. When people first watched that trailer, they thought it was fucking Jack Black again.
Oh. I
They
I
thought,
knew
oh,
it wasn't Black Jack. I knew it wasn't. I knew it.
Blackjack.
Oh, did I say Black Jack? Jack Black.
Jack
I knew
Black
I
and
knew
his
it
evil
wasn't
brother.
him, but I was trying to figure out who it is though. But no, I think from the little clips that we managed to get out of that direct, I think he did well as Bowser Jr. And obviously,
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much going to be the primary villain. I think Bowser's the one that's going to be taking the back seat though, given the little bit that we got out of the trailers. I
Well,
mean, he'll probably have some presence toward the very tail end, but I think most of the movie is probably going to be catered towards Bowser Jr. a bit more.
okay. If I had to make a wild guess, Bowser Jr. is gonna save his father, and they're gonna team up or something. But then Bowser's gonna be like, "Okay, son, you're going way too far." Because it seems like Bowser's quote unquote trying to turn over a new leaf, kind of. So Bowser's probably gonna be like, "Oh, whoa, son, you're going too far with this," blah blah blah, and then he maybe teams up with the Mario Bros or something.
I don't think he'll go to that extreme.
I don't know. I think that Bowser Jr. will be the main villain. I don't think Jack Black will be like the main villain of the movie. I feel like he's gonna be like a more comedic. I liked him in the trailer, by the way. Bowser in that trailer was honestly pretty funny.
Yeah. So I guess in
And
terms of the rest of the trailer, so those were the two new characters that we got. No Yoshi,
yeah,
nobody else. It started off with Bowser, and I was thinking he was just in a castle just painting, and it just dawned on me once we saw him in his small form. I'm like, oh, we're picking up right where we left off at the end of the first movie because he ate that mini mushroom somehow and shrunk. And hasn't
they
gone
fed
back
it
to
to him. I
yeah,
thought.
yeah, yeah, and hasn't gone back to that normal size yet. I was like, oh gosh, and it was kind of funny just having those little bit of comedic moments. So the comedy's still gonna be in there. I
Yeah,
like
and I
it.
liked it. Like I think Bowser was like one of my favorite elements of the original movie. Because as much as people want to say, "Oh, Bowser's a threatening villain," no, he's always been a comedic villain. Ever since, honestly, ever since like Mario RPG, he's been a comedic villain. Mario 64, he's like obviously like putting everyone in paintings and stuff. He's always been like a little bit of a trickster and like a weird fucking guy. So I think they perfectly portrayed that in the first movie, having him have like this wild crush on Peach. But he was still really good in the first movie, honestly. So if they just keep doing funny stuff with him in this movie, even if whether he's the main villain or just like a small side villain, I'm fine with that, honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll give him another musical number.
Oh, I wouldn't put it past him.
That'd be funny, obviously.
Unless Benny Safdie can sing, then I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe like a Bowser and Bowser Jr. duet. It also does bring up the really big question because maybe the movie will actually have to mention this. If Bowser has this giant crush on Peach and he's like trying to get with Peach, has he have a kid?
Nah, they ain't gonna touch that. We're going too far with this, Steven.
Yeah,
We're going
I'm
absolutely
just
way too
saying
far.
it's a good question that the games have deliberately ignored.
They'll stay far away from that. They ain't gonna touch that a little bit of lore. We're just gonna
I
stop it
know.
there. But yeah, so the rest of the trailer and stuff, it looked good. It's everything you kind of would expect out of a what would be a Mario Galaxy movie and stuff. Obviously, we saw Mario planet hopping as you would in the Mario Galaxy games and stuff. And then I started looking in the background at some of the different environments and worlds that he was in, and then it started to dawn on me a little bit more. There was a shot out of there that was literally referencing Mario Odyssey with that
Yeah.
Sand Kingdom. I was like, oh, okay, so it's not just only going to be Galaxy
They,
references. They
well, that's how the
sprinkle in some
first movie
audio
was.
Odyssey stuff, and yeah, the whole marriage wedding ceremony that was a whole reference to Odyssey as well. So I mean,
They have the same outfits from their Odyssey wedding too.
yeah. So I was
Not
like,
not only that, but there's the cat. Yeah, basically, there's a lot of stuff from the entire Mario series in that first movie.
yeah, yeah, because you kind of expect it with the power ups, because the power ups are just scattered throughout the whole entire series. You can't necessarily just tie one power up to just one specific game. I mean, maybe with the introduction, but then it's in a lot of different games after the fact, though. But yeah, all of that was cool, and they really went hard on the painting aspect because I guess that's where they're kind of bleeding over a little bit of the sunshine references with Bowser Jr. because shoot, I was expecting a lot of different references, but I wasn't also expecting Sunshine made sense, but I wasn't expecting a Wonder reference when Bowser Jr. grabbed that paintbrush and nearly transformed himself to the Wonder Flower effect of him in those games. And I love that color scheme that was of Bowser Jr. in those games, and it looks good with this movie variant style version of him as well.
Well, yeah,
It
I
makes
think
it look sick, especially with the voice modulator with the little mask up. Because it was always weird seeing that in the DS games. It's like, oh gosh, what the heck was that even thing? Because the graphics on a DS game wasn't like that great. I could tell it was just something over his mouth. Me playing that as a kid, but I couldn't really tell what it was until
it's
much
just the
later. But
bandana.
I know it's just a
Yeah.
bandana now, but like back then it was like, what's this dude like? You wouldn't think like jumping on the dude's head while he had that bandana on would actually hurt him or hurt yourself or something like that. So I always kind of thought it was something else different, but I figured out what it was later on though.
Yeah.
But I don't know, seeing that bandana looking like that and looking that sick with the design, I'm all here for it.
And I like that, and obviously I think it's a good substitute for Shadow Mario.
I don't
Like
think they were
Shadow
ever gonna
Mario.
bring Shadow Mario into the mix, but
Well, that's
yeah,
what I'm saying. Like, if like it's like a good substitute is like a powered up form of Bowser Jr. Because that's kind of what Shadow Mario was.
yeah.
It's got the same, like a very similar color scheme, obviously. So you got this powered up version of with this paintbrush he's got, which I do think it's interesting the parallels that like Bowser is getting really into painting, and his son has like the whole painting thing,
Yeah.
which
So
is cool.
heavy emphasis in terms of that sunshine reference going on here within the Galaxy movie. So I guess it works. It works. It works.
Yeah, yeah, you're trying to hold back your hatred of Sunshine.
The way how the game plays and feels, yes, but luckily with a movie you just watch it because I don't have any problem with the way how Sunshine looks and stuff. It's when I'm playing the game that's when I have my issues. But the themes and the music and all of that stuff, I love all of that. That's fine. So yeah, so I think it should work great within the movie, and I'm really looking forward to this because it literally comes out. What was it, Steven? A month? Was it April?
Something like that, yeah.
I have to look
I
everything
think it's
up.
April.
April
I
3rd.
think it's April, yeah.
So I think roughly now, since we're almost, well, it's like half a month. We're about 4.5 months away from this movie dropping in the springtime. So not too much further to go. We might get at least one more trailer. And that one more trailer that could happen close to or around when you would normally get that first direct of the whole entire year, whether that be February or March or something like that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get one more
That'll be
trailer.
that one last one.
And well, I feel like we'll probably get more posters, and we'll get like the reveal of like the casting for Yoshi, because all I'll say is that based on leaks we heard about this movie, there is a major character they have not revealed yet.
I
I'm
like how
assuming.
people were thinking we were gonna get a trailer because a stinking cookie leaked
Well,
before
not
this trailer came out. And I was like, oh,
well.
okay.
Well, it was pretty obvious. There was rumors that the trailer was going to be shown right before Wicked, so it had to come soon.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I'm not gonna say who. I don't know. You fine if I say that character that
No,
people are
no, I
saying?
don't even know who this
I,
character is. No, you don't say
okay.
nothing on there.
Well, all I'll say is that I'm excited if that is true. I don't know for a fact. I'm not working on the movie, obviously.
All right, well that's fine then. All right, well that's all we had to talk about within the Mario Galaxy movie trailer for trailer one. There's going to be multiple after this though, but so far so good. Everything's looking good. We're not pulling the Sonic One movie though, so we're all right. We're all right. So I'm looking forward to this whenever it does come out though. All right, so that's going to do it in terms of all of our pop culture news stuff. So now we're going to jump over into the next bit, that being what we've been playing. All right, Steven. So it's been 3 long weeks, and we should have been playing a whole bunch of stuff though. But let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room because Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment literally came out. Not hold up. When is
10 days
not
ago.
last week, but the week before last. Yeah,
10 days ago.
so about 10 days ago, and I put some time up into this game. And thus far, I'm really enjoying this game. Granted, I feel like this game, it has that little slow start at first where it's like, dang, there's a lot of stuff. And the last time I played a Warriors game was with Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. So I was, I was so used to being able to control so many different characters, tell them to go from point A to B to C to D. And I want to do all these different advanced techniques, but I couldn't do it this early in the game. I was like, why is this? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot. We're back to ground zero. I got to work my way up to get all this stuff. So the more and more you go through the game, the more and more you actually mess around with this stuff. Yes, it slowly starts to click. It slowly starts to take the shackles off of your arms and legs. And then that's when I think this game really starts to pop. Now, granted, with it being a Warriors game, some characters you're going to vibe with their personalities or their play styles and stuff like that. Other characters, not so much. I wasn't necessarily a big fan of like even running around and attacking with Zelda at first. But it wasn't until I started getting the other characters and then I was able to bounce off and switch off. So I do a little Zelda action, move into with somebody else that could attack a little closer or whatever though. Now I started to appreciate Zelda's character a little bit more. Still not my personal favorite, but she's doable now.
I think the beginning of this game is pretty fucking weak. Like I don't know
I
why
like
they
the
thought like
cutscenes, don't get me wrong, but like in terms of the
I don't like
gameplay,
walking. I don't know why like there's like a walking simulator for a little bit there. It's not fun. It doesn't accomplish anything.
Yeah, no,
and then there's that training room where that boss takes a while. You just have to keep like spamming it with weak point smashes and special attacks.
Yeah.
I don't remember
I don't
anything
know.
like
That
I don't
tutorial
remember anything like that, yeah.
Yeah, the tutorial area, I don't think it was nearly as engraved or, as flashy in terms of like, hey, we're gonna handhold you this much. Even within Age of Calamity, I don't think it was like that in that game, and I don't think it was like that in Three Hosts, to the best of my knowledge, either. But
I just think Age of Calamity had a better one where you were like Link fighting off this invasion in Hyrule Field.
Yeah, that's how they started.
It felt like the beginning of Hyrule Warriors 1 on the Wii U. Which is a very similar thing. Link playing as Link, fighting off like the invasion of the evil forces in that game, and then you get roped into all this nonsense. Either way, I like the story. They got all the Tears of the Kingdom voice actors back. I like Rauru, the king of Hyrule. He's great. I think he's a fun character. I'm allowed to spoil Tears of the Kingdom finally, right?
Oh yeah, that's past my statute of limitations for games on this channel is about a year.
Yeah. Queen Sonia died a lot faster in the game than I thought, but then I kind of realized that we were skipping some stuff from Tears of the Kingdom. Like if you have, if you played Tears of the Kingdom, you can kind of put the pieces together, which cutscenes belong where. Obviously. I kind of think it's weird that we don't really see Ganondorf a lot before everything with him happens. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're talking about within Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah, no, in Age of Imprisonment, we don't really see Ganondorf, and so far he's not playable, which is really fucking weird to me.
No, the way how they got this character, or not, the way how they got him portrayed in this game, no, he's not gonna be a playable unit unless it was like an extreme post game or something. Then no, I don't think so. It doesn't make any sense for him to do.
Even Age of Calamity had Calamity Ganon unlockable after we beat it.
Yeah, that's different with post game because then at that point it's like you're just looking for something to kind of entertain you. But for the sake of the story, it doesn't make sense for you to be able to play as Ganondorf. Like I don't know how far in the game you made it, and I don't want to necessarily spoil stuff like that. But
I can say this: I just met the Water Sage.
Oh well, I think we're at the same point, major story wise. Because after I did that part, I started doing like a handful of side quests that popped up. That's the last part where I left off at. So we're at the same spot. Okay.
Yeah, something around there.
Okay. But yeah, I would say out of all these characters, I mean, because a lot of them we kind of saw within Tears of the Kingdom, albeit most of them with their mask on. I like how now we can actually see and get to know the characters a bit better with the mask off. So it has that going for the game. So at least, they're adding a bit more to these flashbacks that we wanted to see in Tears of the Kingdom. They just never elaborated on it. Thankfully, we can see it all play out in front of our eyes right now.
Yeah.
And I think...
I kind of don't understand the point of having them masked in Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe we would have actually known the characters a bit more.
Probably, but then again, they weren't really talking in that game either. So I mean,
yeah, well, they all basically said the same fucking thing, which is annoying.
But I think out of all the playable characters, my favorite ones to play as, King Rauru was like, one of the first few characters you have unlocked. He's cool.
I love playing as him.
No, he's great. And they kind of have you split up as like a Team A, Team B scenario, though, as you get further in the game. That's all I'll say on that. Because the dude that literally looks like Link, who's literally just a construct, he's great. He's great. He plays just like how Link would, Link. And he just moves in real fast, does a lot of different crazy attacks. He's cool. So he's another one of my go-to characters. And then also the surprise character, I will say this, the stinking little Korok dude. I didn't know if I was going to like this dude at first because he's kind of a little pesky or whatever, though. But then when he starts attacking, I could actually vibe with the dude. You could do everything from stunning the enemy to burning the enemy to freezing the enemy. I was like, the dude's kind of cracked. I ain't going to lie. So I was like, that dude's good.
I really, there was this weird section. I know you already got to it. It's one of the beginning sections when you meet the Korok. There's a specific change in the gameplay. If you know what I'm saying. Like, you do, a different type of mission.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. That threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting that either.
That mission was pretty fucking cool. It was probably the coolest mission in the game so far. So I was happy to see that. And the mysterious construct, as they keep calling him in game, is a cool addition. I like that he uses the Zonai devices in a different way from everyone else. And that's another thing. I think this game makes up for its lack of character variety with a much more interesting base gameplay loop, where you have the Zonai devices that you map to certain buttons. You have the special abilities, whether it's like an air counter or a ground counter, the certain moves. I feel like there's a lot more enemies that require specific things to expose their weak points.
Yeah, and there's some tough enemies that had almost like a rock hard armor, and then that got you to really think. Or sometimes, like what you talked about with the Zonai devices, like an enemy might be covered in mud, so then you need a Zonai device like that water hydrant. You need to wash that mess off of them, and that does increased damage. Or if an enemy was like a water slime, and you can use like something that freezes, that does additional damage or whatever, though. So it causes you to think a little bit more, especially if you're playing this game on a harder difficulty. I'm going through it on normal because I just need to kind of get through the game or whatever, though. But granted, I could play the game on hard. I think I did Age of Calamity on hard as well. There's just so many games coming out. I was just like, I just can't spend too much time on this game. But I would have played it on hard. But yeah, no, it causes you to think a little bit more. Because I hate the people that go through and says, oh, all you got to do is just button mash. No, it's far from it. If you really know what you're wanting to do, then no, it isn't.
And yeah, you can theoretically button mash, but it's a lot faster and a lot more efficient to do combos to get rid of clear enemies. And as you play the game, you'll realize which moves are good and which moves are not. Because there are some combos that are just not good.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to do all these side quests, getting to certain materials and stuff. That way you're able to help these people out on the world map. Even though it doesn't seem like it's doing much, it basically unlocks more different combos that you're able to do, or sometimes additional health or something like that. So it winds up helping you on your journey the further and further you progress, because eventually, as you keep going further in the story, those level caps, they get a little bit higher. The difficulty scales up a little bit more. You're not going to do as much damage unless you're going in and, for example, upgrading your weapons and stuff like that. So you can actually upgrade the levels of the weapons, switch different types around, have certain buffs and status abilities on that. The base camps, actually being able to supply some resources to the camp to basically either improve your defense, your mobility, so how fast you're moving across the map, or even experience gain from fighting a whole bunch of enemies. So there's a lot of different layers to this game that once you start looking at each layer, that's what makes this game a Hyrule Warriors game, and I really like it for that
Yeah,
fact.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'll say that. I played it on hard so far. I've been playing every mission on hard. I actually died quite a bit
Now I hadn't
early
had a moment I died, but I mean maybe I would if I was
because
playing on hard. But yeah,
yeah, because I was playing it on Game Share with our friend Sonic, and
uh,
I was actually having a bit of fucking trouble. I'll admit. So I'm actually kind of happy about that.
wait. So
I know
I
I'm
like how
playing it on
you
hard.
tested out the game share. So if you're game sharing like how you did with Sonic, because I don't think Sonic owns the game. Is that correct?
Yes,
So how did the
even if
2-player mode work with that?
well, even if you own the game, you still have to do game share. The game does not have built-in online multiplayer. You
Okay.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So theoretically, if I join you, you still have to do game share.
No, no, no. Yeah, so
Which
it's basically like the DS download play. Like I had to do it
yes,
all off of your file, which makes
but
sense. Yeah.
but it's annoying. You're not actually DS download play. You actually download the game, while this it's just streaming it over a connection. Which Sonic was telling me it was quite blurry on his end, and like it kind of it was 30 FPS. It's 30 FPS when you play the game multiplayer, but it is cool to play it with other people. He was able to go to the other side of the map. I was doing, I was fighting a guard on one side of the map. He was fighting a guard on the other side of the map,
Oh,
which
so it
definitely
wasn't like y'all were both in the same general vicinity. You were able to
no.
go in two different directions.
Yeah,
Okay.
we were able to go where we wanted,
And you
and we
and
could
you were
like
able to do this based on like your main story objective. Like it wasn't like just a whole separate
yeah.
side mode.
I
They could literally play the
I
game with you technically.
yes, and he was able to switch
Oh.
characters too.
See, now that would be really cool. That would be really nice. Like when we would have been both either done with the game or maybe one's behind, you want to use the other one to help catch up or whatever. Though, I think there's a lot of promise to be able to do something like that, especially with a Hyrule Warrior game. Because I think at most you might be able to control 4 different characters at any given point. So to be able to at least switch between two of them, while the other buddy is able to switch between maybe the other two or something like that, you can get a lot of stuff done on a map, and then shoot, raise the stakes up higher, do it on hard or very hard or something like that. Really kind of get the challenge going. Man, there's a lot of promise for that. I didn't even think about that.
There's a lot of potential. Obviously, I could try it with you. Obviously, like in our spare time. It was fun.
Okay, we got to get to that at some point.
No, I'm definitely up to. Um, the only thing I'll say with it is, yeah, the connection. It's not great. Obviously, I kind of wish the game just had a native online mode as well.
Hmm.
It's not a big deal, but like my thing is just like why?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's fine though. I and it also has local co-op, split screen. But the nice thing, yeah, when you're playing game share, we both had our own screen. It wasn't split screen.
Yeah, which I guess that would be the perfect scenario would be is if you had your two Switch 2s in the same room, then you wouldn't have to worry about any delay at that point. But yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, no, it could obviously could be better, but like I had fun, and I'm glad that the game has a form of online multiplayer, and I have to play more of the game, obviously. I don't think it's really gonna wow me. Like, I don't think it's gonna be as good as the first Hyrule Warriors. I don't think anything's gonna be as good as the first Hyrule
Well, that
Warriors.
just
That
had
had
like a
all
whole
the
bunch of fan service going into that, which
fan
that makes
service.
sense.
Not even that. It had a ton of content. It had like 7 adventure maps you could go through, which were basically whole other campaigns. They had the added DLC to that game. You had stuff from the entire series past. I don't think there's a way to beat that game. All I hope is that if they're making a game all about Tears of the Kingdom's story, it better be an interesting story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so far I've been thoroughly enjoying the story for the little beat, story beats that we managed to get thus far. I
Yeah,
mean,
so far it's fine.
it's adding more to Tears of the Kingdom that I really wanted to see in terms of because I feel like they're telling the narration or the story better in this game versus obviously what all we got in Tears of the Kingdom. Because you really had to start looking for that mess. I felt like not as much as
Tears of,
Breath of the Wild, but I mean, but yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom, I guess, has a story. Like I don't know.
But yeah, so
It's kind of
overall,
stupid.
yeah, overall, I really enjoyed my time I put within Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. thus far. Obviously, we still got to go through and finish the game. You heard Steven's thoughts. We're basically in the same camp as it stands now, though. But yeah, hopefully we can finish this game out with just enough time for before literally Kirby Air Riders. I hate how they only put an S at the end of that game. Gosh dang it! Should have gave that thing a subtitle or something. That literally comes out this week though, so I got to keep trucking along in this game, so that way my games don't pile up though. That's mostly all I've been playing. Well, it's been that, a little bit of Splatoon 3, and I did dabble a little bit with Ninja Gaiden 4, at least just a tiny bit. But then I was like, nah, I'm doing way too much. I need to do one game at a time. So I just went back and only did Hyrule Warriors. So maybe by the next episode, maybe I would have finished that game. Maybe I would have been able to play more Ninja Gaiden 4 so I could actually give my thoughts on it though. But Steven, was there any other games you've been playing as of late?
I I'm still playing Sonic Racing Cross Worlds because they're doing their events frequently. Which that's been fun. I tried out Sonic Rumble, that new mobile game thing. Sucks. Don't play it. Don't buy it. Don't spend $40 on the fucking skins in that game.
I like how
Okay.
you knew a Sonic mobile game was coming out. I honestly was drawing a blank. Like I
Well, because it's been in purgatory for a year. It's been released in other countries, but not in the US. Power
hmm.
Wash Simulator 2, I've been playing. That's a nice, relaxing game. I'm having fun with it. That's like on and off. Obviously, with a bunch of stuff about to come out, I have not, played it. And then I know we're gonna talk about it later, but I did play the Kirby Air Riders demo.
Oh yeah. Which I think I had that literally as that Kirby Air Riders demo. I'm looking back at our little show notes.
You have
Yes.
it at Nintendo News. You want to just talk about it now?
Okay. Dang it. No. Shoot. No, we're not talking about it now because that means I gotta mess around with all my stuff in OBS, and I don't feel like doing
That's
that. So we're gonna hold off on
that's
it.
why I'm checking.
We're gonna
Okay.
hold off on it.
So yeah, that's really all the I played because I was in North Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be it in terms of the segment for what we've been playing. So now we're going to go ahead and jump on over to the next major bit of news, that being what's in the gaming news. All right, Steven. Well, apparently, the Switch 2 has been on the market for about what? The thing came out in June, July, August, September, October,
Yes.
November. It's been about on the market for about 5 months now. 5 months. And a lot of people been kind of thinking and wondering for Nintendo, like, are we ever going to get any extra color? We're going to get some like colorful Joy-Cons and stuff like that, like what we had with the Switch 1. Or maybe some kind of a limited edition Pro controller or something like that with a little bit extra color, a little bit extra flair or something to kind of go up on
Something.
this thing. No. And Nintendo's like, you know what? I got you, bro. I got you. But there's no color on this thing whatsoever. It's just a Resident Evil style controller. And gosh dang it, the price on this thing, it's $100 stinking. I'm over here looking at this controller. I'm like, I don't necessarily need it, Steven. I really don't. But at the
But you're
same
gonna buy
point,
it.
I have every single limited edition Pro controller from the Switch 1. I'm going to keep the bit alive and still get it. But apparently, I'm looking at the design of this. This is what we have in the US. Apparently, overseas, they get the other one that's based on one of the other Resident Evil games. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, gosh dang. I'm just going to stick with this for now. Wait for the price to go down on the overseas one, and then maybe I might pick that one up later on, but I'm certainly
Wait.
not getting that right now. And
See,
yes, Steven,
I
that
didn't
is a
know
thing.
that.
There is a
I
that
didn't know
is a
that.
thing.
It looks different. It
Yeah,
looks different over there.
it's a little bit different. Yes.
All right. Well, all I'm gonna tell you is that the one we're getting over here looks terrible, in my opinion.
The other one
Like
that they're getting over there is basically the same kind of stylized thing, but it's with the other games. I think it's like their logo and stuff up on there and stuff like that. It looks pretty similar to this. It's just change out a few different things.
Yeah, at least to me, I think I understand it's like newspaper clippings and stuff is on the controller, But why is the Resident Evil logo like cut out by the Switch 2 logo? It just doesn't look good.
I don't know. I feel like they could have done a little
Like
bit more extra flair on it, changed the color of the hand
like
grips or something like that. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe make them both white or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Obviously, it does show that like there is a good relationship right now between Capcom and Nintendo, which is always good. Is it technically a different color? Is it technically like gunmetal gray instead of
No, it
black?
looks
I
like,
guess.
well, no, it looks the
I
same to
don't
me,
know.
to be honest. Well, oh, I see why you're saying that though, because I'm looking at the box art in comparison to what
The
it looks like on
grips,
the.
yeah, the grips look a
No.
little different. I don't know. It's obviously going to be a nice controller. It's going to be really comfy, just like the Switch 2 Pro controller. Blah blah blah. At least to me, though, like I don't know. It's going to be $100. Just get the original Pro controller.
Yeah, that's what I recommend for most people. Unless you're someone in my boat who's literally going to try to collect everything, then it's a little bit different. And I kind of hate it though, but it's a little bit different. But also,
Yeah,
we're
I'm not
getting.
seeing the Japanese one. I'm trying to look it up. I'll
Yeah,
keep looking.
yeah. Keep looking. It's a thing. I looked it up 'cause I was like, dang it, I might have to wind up getting that one too. And then also they confirmed that there's gonna be Resident Evil Amiibo as well, which they didn't show what we're getting in terms of the Amiibo and what they look like as well. So yeah, Capcom, they're really strong partners with Nintendo. If that's not strong and apparent enough, they got like those limited edition, not limited edition, but those bundles where they're literally giving you like 3 different Resident Evil games for, gosh, it's
90.
yeah, for $90, which is actually a pretty good gosh dang deal. Because considering
Trust
how
me.
the new game will be 70, so it's like them giving you the other 2 games for $10 a pop, and that's not bad.
Here's the thing. I've played 7 and 8. They're fucking amazing games, mind you. $10 is a good deal. I really hope they run good on Switch 2 because these are not the cloud versions. These are native Switch 2 versions. So I hope they run it good on Switch 2. And obviously, I hope that they eventually do a real physical release because right now it's a fucking game key card.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I kind of hate is I feel like with most games that are going to be game key cards, me personally speaking, I'm just going to probably, if I really care about getting the game on the Switch 2, I'll just probably wind up picking it up digital. I probably won't even mess around with the game key card because I mean, literally, that's
Well,
what it is. It's a digital game at the end of the day. So I mean,
I know one game key card you'll be getting. We'll talk about it later.
maybe. I don't know if we're on the same page about that. Maybe. Anyway, though, but that's all I had to talk about in terms of the Resident Evil Pro controller news, though. So we'll go ahead and move over to the next topic, though, because apparently, I think we all saw it in the room. We just didn't know whether or not it was going to happen or if and at what point it might happen. But yes, GTA 6 did get confirmation that it's going to get delayed once again. Once again,
Fucking well
and
now.
they're gonna they're gonna delay this sucker all the way to the holiday season of 2026. So yeah, they moved that goalpost all the way over into November of next year, and that's when allegedly, assuming we don't have any other delays, that's when that game is supposed to come out. And I'm like, oh gosh, I was like, man.
It's so funny. It's so goddamn funny, Zard.
I mean, because this game was supposed to come out originally in April, mind you, and we hadn't seen like another big old trailer. They hadn't started to do their advertising marketing push, which I think the reasoning behind this was to allow the game to be polished up just a little bit more, but then also give them a little bit more time with marketing. I don't know what's kind of going on in the back of their minds though, but I feel so bad for developers and stuff like that that probably had their game slated for holiday of 2026, and no one and their mama wants to release anywhere near when this game comes out because it might be the highest selling media piece of franchise period. We're talking about in terms of like in comparison to movies, TV shows and stuff like GTA is just that big, and I know
See,
nobody wants to release their game around when this game comes out.
see, that's funny. I think it's getting delayed again.
I mean, what was it? This is the second delay, right? Second.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's getting delayed again.
I think they wanted to have it in holiday to begin with anyway. So when they pushed it to spring, they're like, yeah, they wanted it to be a holiday game. It'll be
See,
crazy if they delayed it one more time, Steven, because here's the deal. They delay it one more time, they're knocking on the doorstep of a new Xbox console coming out and a new PlayStation potentially coming out if they delay it one more time, which is kind of crazy to think about, though. But
they could.
I hope not. But
I don't want them to, obviously, but like they very easily could.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I kind of hope they delay it again, just because it would be really fucking funny. Like I don't really care about Grand Theft Auto that much, you know.
And Redbeard, no, I feel you on your little drift over there, though. Yeah, no, I mean, for some people, the older games, those are classics. A lot of people might feel good about those games, though. These newer ones, I don't know. I never really got into GTA, so I will keep my eye on this game when it does come out, because I might just pick it up. Crazy to think that this could be $100 game, and they're obviously going to be able to get away with it. They're probably the only company that really could, because considering how
I think it will
what
be.
GTA 5 is, gosh, came out over like a decade and a half ago. So. But no. You didn't offend us. I was like, no, I think we're kind of in the same boat. So you're all good, man. So, yeah, that's it. GTA 6 is delayed to holiday time of next year for November. So you know what? It is what it is. We'll see whether or not that holds true or not. We will see. But speaking of
I
things that, oh, what?
I was just gonna say, I genuinely don't know when this game is coming because as much as they keep saying, "Oh, we need more polish. We can't wait to give you the best experience ever," we haven't seen anything about the game. We really don't know anything about this game. We don't.
In, in
Really, the
terms of the
most we
gameplay,
have is that
yeah,
footage
it's
that
just that
yeah,
first trailer that was mostly stuff would have been in engine or not.
yeah.
It just kind of just seemed like a bunch of
Like
cutscenes, but yeah.
it's like it really doesn't seem like people are excited for a game. It seems like people are excited for a very nice looking tech demo. I don't know. Like
Mm.
whatever. It will probably get delayed again and probably like coincide with the launch of a new console or something. I don't really have any faith in that game releasing next year because I don't know. They delayed it this far in advance. Like it was supposed to come out in May and they're already delaying it now. It makes me think that there is something going on at Rockstar.
Yeah, there might be something going on at Rockstar. Who's to say though? But hopefully they get their stuff worked out though, because
Yeah,
this is gonna be a money juggernaut for whenever it does come out though, and it's
yeah,
gotta last at least a decade and a half if anything GTA 5 has taught us. So
yeah, no, GTA 7 is not coming for a while. So they need this game to basically be their cash cow for however long, which means, GTA Online, blah, 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 which who even knows what's going to happen with that.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
A lot coming with though, yeah.
All right, but speaking of things that have gotten delayed, apparently this next thing, it's not delayed no more. Because, ladies and gents, the stinking Analog 3D, we got confirmation of this thing being shipped. And this ain't no drill. Every single gosh dang stinking time I pulled this image up on my little TV screen over here, this thing has gotten delayed time and time again. This was something that we should have been having in the months of January, February, March. It got delayed again. It got moved over there to, I think it was like the month of July, and then it got delayed again. We're going to roll it back just one more month because we needed just to have a little bit more extra time. They laid that sucker to Q4 of, the end off this year. And I was like, gosh dang it, if they delay this sucker one more time, so help me, I was about to square up and literally meet these people up at their front doorstep. And lo and behold, I finally got my email confirmation that they said they're going to ship these suckers out on November the 18th, which is literally just in 2 days. I was like, heck freaking yes. I am a Nintendo 64 kid at heart. That's the mess I grew up on. I was kind of pretty unfortunate that I was like, dang, there's really no way for me to actually plug up my OG N64 on a modern day HD television, TV now, without it blurring out or doing weird things with scan lines and stuff. So it kind of got me bummed
Well,
out. And I was like, I know there's other alternative ways you can mod your N64s and stuff like that, but I was just talking about just straight plugging the mess up into a TV
well, there are cables.
or
Like I
a
have
few
the
different
retro thing.
attachments or
But yeah,
whatever though. But yeah, and I was like,
I get
dang,
what you're saying.
you had to kind of go out of your way just a little bit though. And oh man, the fact we finally got confirmation on this, I feel so good about this mess. And apparently, I think embargoes are gonna drop in the next couple of days. You didn't hear that from me though, but keep your eyes peeled out on literally on Tuesday. and we might get to see some confirmation from some people that already have their hands on the system for review units. So we got that to look forward to as well. I'm ecstatic through the moon. I consider this as a late birthday gift, so I was like, you know what? I'll take it, Analog. You done messed up a lot of different times, but at the end of the day, it seems like y'all gonna wind up showing up on this thing though, because I got a few games in the back line for me to go through and play. Games I never played before. I'm talking about Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, and Conker's Bad Fur Day. 3 different rare games right there that I'll be ready to go as soon as I get my hands on this Analog 3D. Hoping I get this before the week of Thanksgiving so I can actually mess around with it, because I got a whole bunch of company and stuff coming into town the week of Thanksgiving. So we will see how much mileage I get out of this depending on, when that thing shows up at my front doorstep. I'm ecstatic through the moon. I'm glad this mess is finally showing up.
Hopefully Analog learns from this and doesn't give a release date next time.
They ain't gonna learn. Their business is crap. Their products are great, but the business is crap, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
They put all their effort into the goddamn business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. All right, that's all I have to say about Analog 3D for now. Now, the second that this thing shows up at my doorstep and I actually get to put some time up in it, there'll probably be a dedicated separate video, and then anything that I don't have in a dedicated separate video will likely flow into the podcast. So you'll probably get my thoughts in 2 different sources. Just a little heads up on that since it's been that long. So we will see whenever I finally get this thing plugged into my TV, though. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this thing. But I think that's all I got to say, at least for now. But keep your eyes on the channel. I got the content coming. It's coming, boys and girls. It's coming. All right. Well, that's it for Analog 3D. We're going to move it over to a couple of different things that we got in terms of some Sony related news before we jump over to Nintendo stuff, because we like to talk numbers here on the channel, right, Steven? Like we like
Hell
the numbers,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So we got some fiscal report update numbers for PlayStation, how many consoles they managed to sell, and how they're kind of currently doing as well. Lo and behold, I think they got the stuff kind of perfectly timed out now, Steven, where every time we talk about Nintendo's numbers, which we'll talk about that here in a second, PlayStation always has their numbers roughly ready at the same given point. So I was like, okay, whatever. So apparently, in terms of the overall consoles that had managed to ship from PlayStation themselves or Sony, the PS5 is currently sitting at 84.2 million units sold. There's about 119 million monthly active users. 80.3 million units of PS5/4 software that was sold in the last quarter. 6.3 million units of first-party software has sold. And this is the number I was kind of curious about. In terms of Ghost of Yotei sales so far, 3.3 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of PS5s out there. And you mean to tell me only 3.3 million of y'all managed to pick this game up?
That sounds right, especially because it really doesn't feel like it got that much marketing, and it is a sequel. Like, remember, sequels historically don't do as well as the original.
I mean, that is true. Don't get me wrong, that is true. But this game literally does everything that the first game does and a whole lot more. So hopefully a lot of people manage to get this game underneath their Christmas trees or something like that, because this is still one of my Game of the Year contenders. I don't know where it shakes up with everything I got for this year so far, but it's pretty close up there with like Donkey Kong Bonanza for me personally, though.
Yeah, Donkey Kong. Well, yeah, that's. I don't think you have it on here, but when Game of the Year nominees come out, I will not be surprised.
No. I didn't necessarily have that as a segment in my show tonight, but we're gonna get the nominees for the Jeff Keighley Awards for the Game Awards stuff. It's literally gonna happen tomorrow. So in the next podcast episode, we'll go through our predictions and stuff in the next one.
I gotcha.
So I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't have it anywhere though. But that's just a quick little update on that. So we'll dive into it fully in the next episode. We'll have time for
a lot of Game of the Year contenders coming out. These are basically all I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Which, I haven't played Ghost of Yotei. I don't really plan on playing it, but I've heard it's good. So I'm glad, obviously.
Yeah.
Did you play it?
No, Ghost of Yotei, I finished that mess. I'm done with it.
No, nice. What would you grade it? Like out of 10?
9 out of 10.
Cool. No, I'm glad it was good. It's not a game I'm interested in, mostly because I haven't played Ghost of Tsushima yet. But yeah,
Once you play that game, then you'll understand what I'm talking about, man. You still need to sit around and play that mess. I'm telling you,
I
man, it's
know,
so
I
good.
know.
All right, but yeah, that's pretty much all the numbers I had in terms of PlayStation, in terms of their little fiscal stuff. I mean, they don't give like super high in depth stuff like what we kind of get with Nintendo stuff though. But it's a decent little bit though. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. All right, then we also managed to get a state of play, but it wasn't one of them general state of plays. It was one of those ones that was focused extremely hard on that Japanese audience because I was going back and looking at this, and thank goodness I wasn't watching this live in the moment where I had to watch it like second by second by second. So I saw it after the fact, and I was able to skip around, skip the stuff I didn't really care so much for, and then really watch the stuff that I really was kind of interested in, or if they had something that was brand new that I just didn't recognize. Which I think there was only like a couple or a few of those, and almost every other game that was in this presentation was games that either already existed, things that got DLC, or games that were already announced. So I
Yeah,
could,
like Katamari and stuff.
yeah, so I could easily tell this was a presentation purely focused for the Japanese market because I even felt that even a bit more so once they
At least they
started talking
specified.
about and explaining what a PS5 is, what it's able to do, what it's capable of, and when they really talked about how they're releasing a digital only PS5 that's cheaper in Japan, that's region locked, you can only, play Japanese stuff up on it. And that's the same thing that Nintendo Switch 2 has. Like, they have that dedicated SKU for Japan as well that only plays Japanese games. It's region locked, and it's all because of that weaker yen that's
It's
over there in Japan. So,
Yeah, just to drive prices down. It's because
mhm.
okay, you can't really ship it outside of Japan, so you know.
Yeah, so it makes sense. So I was like, oh, okay. So once you start looking at it from that angle point perspective, it wasn't necessarily a bad presentation. There's some games in here that I am gonna get, whether it be
There
here
was
or
a
on a different console or something like that.
there was that Pac-Man DLC that came out like on that day, which I might try that. The Pac-Man DLC for Sonic
Yeah.
looks pretty cool. And then there was some Sonic Racing news, which I liked. Some new characters coming.
Yeah, and I looked at some of those characters. I was like, dang, what was it? It was like the one that had that tag team duo, the one that I think that's
So
later coming
though
out.
they are from the new comics that are being made, which is pretty cool.
Okay, I was about to say I don't think I ever saw him in any kind of game, so I was like,
Oh yeah,
am I missing
they're
something?
no, they're pretty cool characters from the comics. I know you're never gonna read the comics, but all I can
Mm-mm.
say is that they're cool. They're a bit of a team, and then they had like the Super Monkey Ball character and also Knights, which that's like the next couple months worth of content, and then SpongeBob comes out in 3 days. So that game's getting that steady drip of content, which I like.
Yeah, so I was looking at it. I think they started it off with Dragon Quest Seven, which is kind of funny because that trailer was all in English. So I was like, okay, that was cool though. The subtitles were all over the place. Like they'll be on the bottom, up to the top, down to the bottom, top. They could have handled that a little bit better though. Elden Ring, Night Rain, I think was something that a lot of people probably had their eyes up on. Octopath Travel Zero, they did confirm that there is a playable demo where you're able to play the first 3 hours of the game. You can carry your save progress over into the full game. I'll mess around with that at some given point, probably on the Switch 2 because I have all my HD 2D games on Nintendo Switch 1 for the most part. I just don't like starting those demos too early in advance or I forget where I'm kind of at. Like, when you play an
Yeah,
RPG, you put it down and stuff. So when it's about to come out in a week or week and a half, that's when I start those demos when I know I'm really
yeah.
gonna buy it
I think it's
anyway.
I think it's nice they always do them though, just to get like
No, I,
feedback
I
and
I
stuff.
love I love when they do that mess. Yeah, because it doesn't feel like no time is wasted. You get an early sneak peek to getting into the game. So I love it. Square Enix is really good about those demos. So I love them for that. And I think the other big major highlight for most people was obviously the Marvel Tokon, the fighting game stuff that we saw
The
in the
new
last
demo is
state of play.
coming, I think.
Yeah, they got another closed beta test. I signed up for that one. I'm crossing my fingers I can manage to get up in that mess because I just want to mess around with this thing and see exactly how good this mess is. And whether or not I'm
There's
going to
some new
get really good
characters.
or put a whole bunch of time up in it, that's beside the point because I always like collecting these Marvel games anyway, though. But I could tell there's some fun to be had, at least within this game. I just want to get my hands on it, man.
Yeah, no, it looks cool. Obviously, I just think the state of play was kind of weak in terms of like actually, announcing things. It was just an update on a ton of games. Obviously, I know they specified it was a Japan focused one. I just don't think it was interesting even beyond that.
Yeah. Not much more interesting beyond that though, but I think that for the most part that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Mm. All right. Well, anything else on that state of play?
Not really, honestly. I can't think of anything else they announced. There's some Katamari DLC, I guess, but I haven't bought that game yet.
Mm.
I'm just thinking.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to do it in terms of the state of play stuff, and that's going to wrap up all the PlayStation news that I have right here. So now we're going to jump over to all the Nintendo news, and we're going to first start off with some of these Black Friday sales that we actually got confirmation from Nintendo themselves, because it is that time of season once again. Because apparently they got some Black Friday deals where you're able to buy a lot of different Switch One games for about $30 as the MSRP. So they're saying we're gonna cut that price in half, 50% off. We got a sale of all of these games. And a lot of these games have gone on sale before in the past for like 40-ish bucks. But this might be the lowest that we've seen it in terms of a $30, unless a random old retailer happened to slash it down a little extra or whatever though. But yeah, we got Nintendo Switch Sports, Mario Odyssey, Paper Mario and a Thousand Year Door. That might have been the cheapest you might have been able to pick that
Well,
one up.
yeah, it
Period. Because
just
that's
came out in
yeah,
2024.
yeah. So that was fairly recent. So that makes sense. Splatoon 3, same thing with Princess Peach Showtime. That might be the cheapest that you might have gotten that one as well. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD for sure, because that literally came out January of this year, believe it or not.
Yes.
So that one's a really good one. That's a quick turnaround to drop it that low in price. I'm kind of
To
surprised
be
by that.
fair, it's not the best port, so maybe 30 fits it better.
Yeah, so I can see more people potentially picking that one up. That makes sense.
They just want
Um,
it as a nice quick holiday title. If you already own Bonanza, try out another DK game. That's their pitch.
mm-hmm. And then yeah, the Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Once again, I think that might be the lowest one you ever could have gotten because that literally came out last year. So
That's
that
kind of
was good.
crazy. That's probably just them trying to get rid of stock. Weirdly enough,
It could be, but yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. I liked Echoes of Wisdom, but I don't really think it made much of a splash. I think it's gonna be one of the Echoes of Wisdom is one of those games that's gonna be looked back on like 10 years down the line, and people are gonna really be like, "Oh wow, it was good."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
It
I
it really
liked
did
it.
not
It
get
was
talked
good.
about that
It
much.
was
I
good.
like no, I liked it too. It was a good game. It's not remarkable. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah.
crazy.
hmm Then yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3, which that one's been out for a really long time, since like what, 2019. And then you have Kirby. Oh shoot, the text is so small I can't even tell which one it
Return to
is.
Dreamland
Return to
Deluxe, I
Dreamland
think.
Deluxe. There we go. Which
Good
was that?
game.
Did that one come out last year around January? So it almost feels like 2 years ago.
New
Or
2023.
okay, 2023. All right. So yeah, that one's been on the market for a little bit of time, and that's all of the confirmed first party deals we got going on so far. If you're looking for a Switch 2 deal for a first party game, you're tough out of luck. There ain't no way you're getting anything cheaper than that Mario Kart World bundle that might be bundled in, and you save yourself $30. That'd probably be the best deal if they can still happen to hold on to that SKU though. And surprisingly enough, they are not holding on to that Nintendo Switch 1 bundle that has Mario Kart 8 Deluxe included in it. It's dead. That thing is
Well,
gone.
yeah,
We're not
it'd be
having that
kind of
mess no more.
it would be kind of embarrassing if they were still marketing it because that would just be like, okay, why would you want someone to pick up a Switch One instead? Why would you confuse customers? There's gonna be a lot
Shoot,
of
if I were Nintendo, I would have done it. Only
you know what
if
I'm
you would have
saying. There's
slashed the
gonna
prices down, but
there's
they
gonna there's
raised
gonna
it
be
up,
a
so
ton of
I highly doubt it now.
there's gonna be a ton of customers that are like, oh, I want a Nintendo Switch too. And then they go into the store and they see a Switch and they see Mario Kart, and the parent's gonna think, "Oh, my son, he wants a Switch with Mario Kart. That's it." I obviously Nintendo wants Switch 2 to do well this holiday season, and considering the numbers we will talk about soon, yeah, I definitely understand why they want to ensure that.
Oh yeah.
It looks good though. I actually think they have a decent amount of deals that are worth it this year. In my opinion, though, finally, it's been long enough. A little too long, if you ask me. We kind of needed some good deals like this
Yeah.
because Nintendo never puts their games on good sales. Everyone else does. Everyone else puts their games on good sales. Like some of the games I even see on good sales the moment they come out. Like Silent Hill F, like just came out and I seen it for like 50.
Yeah, no, that's a little too soon for Nintendo's liking. We'll never see anything like that. I think the closest we ever seen on that was, I think, literally Donkey Kong, because that did come out this year.
The closest was game vouchers, being able to get a Tears of the Kingdom for 50 technically.
Mm-hmm. But that thing's dead. Can't even do nothing with gold points anymore. They need to
No,
bring an
I know.
alternative back for that mess.
I'm just saying it's something at least.
But yeah, that's all we have in terms of confirmed Black Friday deals that we got going on right now. Now, by the time I'm trying to pull up my calendar here real quick, by the time we have our next podcast episode, which will be on the 30th, Black Friday would have came and went. We will have We'll be in that limbo period where Black Friday stuff prices are still going on because you'll have Cyber Monday literally that very next day. So we can kind of update y'all in terms of getting everything. I doubt anything really will sell out because I mean they make Black Friday so easy now. Like all you got to do is just scroll and order stuff. You can either pick it up at the store at your later convenience or have it all shipped to your front door. It's not like back in the day where it's like shoot you have to line up at like midnight on that Thanksgiving to roll into that Black Friday and stuff like that, and then be having fights out in the mall and at the Walmart parking lots and stuff like the good old days.
That and also Cyber Monday has really taken center stage for a lot of people.
Yeah, so a lot of people that just get their stuff digitally. I mean, that's me included. I mean, I really got that TV like that, and then I'll just show up, pick it up, and just keep on going about my day. So yeah, we'll keep you up to date in terms of all of the great deals and stuff because I feel PlayStation does a really good job with their deals. Nintendo so-so-y. I hadn't heard a lick of
Xbox
news about Xbox. That's where
Xbox
we're
doesn't
at.
have Xbox doesn't even have their fucking games on the shelves, let alone on sale.
They don't
So
have the games on the shelf. You're right about that. Oh shoot.
Xbox doesn't have deals. They just say, okay, literally walk in the fucking Walmart, steal our games. We don't want them anymore.
They're like, we
That's
gotta get this stuff off
that's
the shelf.
Xbox.
We'll sell it to you
Getting
for
them
free.
all. Yeah, exactly. We will give you money to take the games.
Oh goodness.
That's Xbox right now, which God, man, the fucking I see it on here. Are we gonna talk about the stuff the Xbox killer later?
Yeah, it's at the very end. It's the
That's
last
fine.
one. Yeah.
So yeah, Xbox is just in hot water in a lot of ways right now.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't even know how well they're gonna do this holiday season, especially considering like the Xbox price increases. No fucking parent is gonna get that for their kid instead of a Switch 2. Come on.
Or even a PS5 at that matter, because they're gonna be like, well, what
Yeah,
games play the same things like this? Oh, when they
yeah,
figure out that they can play the same Xbox games like an Indiana Jones, a Forza, shoot, even the Halo and all of that stuff, you can play all that mess on the PS5. It doesn't make any
yeah.
sense to get that at that point,
It,
unless you want the
yeah,
Xbox
come
Game
on.
Pass. But I mean, a lot of these are PCs or shoot, even the TV I bought right now. If I had Game Pass, I could literally log on to the TV right now and literally play those same exact games that way if I wanted to. I'm like, dang. But yeah. Whew. All right. Well, that's
Um,
it for the Black Friday deals. Kind of went on a little mini tangent though, but it was all within the realm. Kind of makes sense. All right.
yeah, I can't wait.
All right. So next up, we did manage to get a new announcement of another Nintendo Switch 2 edition game. I wasn't necessarily expecting this, but it's on Animal Crossing New Horizons. And I literally thought we weren't going to get no new updates on this game until like what, the next new game in the series.
I
But
thought it was gonna get one of those free patches at launch, but then it didn't. So I thought they were just gonna leave it
I
alone.
thought it was done kind of like how Splatoon 3 was done, and they pulled this game out of the grave like how they did with
Oh,
that one too. So I'm like, well,
yeah,
okay, all
but at
right.
least Splatoon 3 was like a free patch, and it basically did what a Switch 2 edition would have done.
Well, that and they brought in a whole bunch of new weapons and stuff like that. Even added an
Yeah,
additional map
but
when they said they were done with weapons and maps. So That
I
was a
think
pretty substantial update, and they're doing the same thing with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I think they mostly did it because they didn't want to alienate the Splatoon 3 player base. Like, obviously you didn't want to have some people purchase one version, some people purchase another,
No, yeah. I mean, online
especially because
games
it's
you
an
gotta
online
you
game,
gotta handle it with
which
the utmost care.
which I guess Animal Crossing has less of an online focus, so they thought it was more justifiable.
Yeah, and the weird thing is the pricing on the Switch 2 edition is not the traditional. Well, we seen a lot of games where if you have a Switch 2 edition, like for example, look at a game like Metroid Prime 4, it's $70 for the Switch 2 edition, 60 for Switch 1. You look at Pokemon Legends ZA, $70 for Switch 2, $60 for Switch 1. For a
Well,
lot of
because
those
those are
Switch
just
2,
graphics.
yeah, a lot of those Switch 2 games is an additional $10. Animal Crossing New Horizons, $5 increase. They're literally selling that Switch 2 edition for $65,
Well,
not
it makes
quite
sense because
70.
it's kind of a fucking stupid upgrade. It doesn't even give you 60 FPS. It's just 4K, I think.
Yeah, so they just up the resolution, and then all the free updates you can get that whether you're playing that on a Switch 1 or a Switch 2 at that point. So you get a little bit of bonus stuff with the Switch 2 edition, not too much, but the content that everybody really cares about in terms of like brand new stuff, that's for anybody that has the game. It'll just be a free update.
Yeah,
But
no, and the free update looks kind of cool. With an NSO subscription, you can play NES games and stuff. Wow. I don't understand why you need an NSO subscription, but there you go.
I mean, it's more like, hey, if you had an NSO subscription,
It's just,
instead of just
you
playing
know what
those
I'm trying to
NES
say.
games on the actual app, we'll do you a favor and play it within the actual game itself. I mean,
They
whatever.
could
You
have
just
afforded to wait. They could have afforded to give us just a couple ROMs for free, man. Just included within the game, like a nice way of preserving those games.
yeah, you could. I don't know. They're
They
like,
could have. It's fucking Ice Climber. You really think it's gonna see like, oh my god, Ice Climber is included. Now I'm never gonna play NSO because there's no Ice Climber on it.
yeah.
And it's stupid logic. Either way, not gonna get too mad about it because it's nice that they're doing this free update. Obviously,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I
I'm
don't know.
happy. I'm happy for the Animal Crossing fans because this is basically Nintendo's way of, all right, we heard y'all people. Everybody just shut up, take this content, and we'll see you in the next 4 years because you ain't getting
Yeah,
another gosh dang Animal Crossing game anytime
yeah,
soon.
and I know I'm not going back to New Horizons just to try it out. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it in terms of that. So that's pretty good. We talked about the numbers with Sony. Now it's time to talk about the numbers with Nintendo because this is things where things get a little bit interesting. Because we like our Nintendo numbers over here now, and there's a few numbers I was actually kind of really looking forward to actually seeing over here. So first, we got to start off with, and it's kind of funny because normally where I look at my numbers and stuff, I get to see exactly what was selling for Switch One stuff, and I saw some numbers for like the hardware for Switch One. I hadn't seen like all the numbers in terms of like software for Switch One. That's the only thing I'm missing. But we'll go ahead and get the ball going here, at least with some of the Switch One stuff that I have. Because in terms of unit hardware units sold for the Switch One, we're sitting at 154.01 million units of hardware sold. I want to say, Steven, last time we talked about the numbers, was it roughly around 152, like barely a couple million or something?
151, I think.
51, so they sold like roughly 3 million ish.
And
It,
that tracks. We knew it was going to slow down, but we knew it also wasn't going to stop. There's a lot of, there's a lot of people, obviously, that were still going to buy Switch Ones only because, let's be honest, there's a lot of people that buy old consoles when a new one's about to come just for preservation's sake.
yeah, yeah, for the sake of
And
preservation or just trying to get something cheaper when they wish they could have the shiny new thing.
yeah, and obviously Nintendo officially raised the price on the Switch One, but no retailers are fucking following that. Like I've seen a couple places putting out Switch Ones for like 250, this and that.
Hmm. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I get what you're saying though, and dang, I'm just was trying to see if I can pull up these. I don't know how these people pull up these numbers. So dang it.
I don't know. Yeah, I can never find the numbers until I find like a Twitter post talking about the numbers. Um, I don't know. Did any other Switch One games change? Did the top 10 games change at all?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now because now that we have numbers on some games that were technically like a Switch 2 edition ones, but you also had a Switch 1 SKU. I just kind of wanted to kind of compare it to that. And it's kind of weird the way how they categorize some of these numbers now because I think I don't know exactly how they categorize if it's a Switch 2 edition. Did they give the credit for the sales to the Switch 1 edition, or they're just lumping it? It's like a unique thing. It's weird with some of these
I
the way how they do
eh,
these numbers now.
I'm pretty sure they said that they count a Switch 2 edition as a Switch 2 game, and they count upgrade packs as like Switch 1 game. Yeah. I don't know. They said it weirdly. They did say like it was like a weird situation because technically, if you get a Switch 2 edition, you're getting a Switch 1 game and an upgrade pack. I
Yeah,
don't know. They made it overly fucking complicated for themselves. Mostly because they probably don't want their numbers to look bad.
yeah.
I don't think Switch 2 editions are gonna have their own numbers. Unless it's like a Mario Party Jamboree thing where it's got like new content and it's like a notable release.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. We'll see, obviously, what happens in the future. But like right now, it's just like performance upgrades. We haven't had any Switch 2 upgrades where I feel like it's significantly that is like a separate purchase. It doesn't feel like a different game.
Hmm.
It's like imagine if 3D World came out on Switch and then they did Switch 2, 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Like that's a substantial upgrade.
Yeah.
I guess the Switch 2 editions really are like the equivalent of Wii U ports. We really are back to Wii U ports in a way.
Shoot, I was really trying to find these numbers and I cannot find it. Dang it. Okay.
Yeah, I got you though. Like
No, yeah, because I really wanted to see where the top 10 was. Maybe I'll try searching one more thing. But while I'm searching that one more thing, we can talk about at least the hardware sales for the Nintendo Switch 2 as it stands now. Because as it stands now, the Switch 2 has managed to sell 10.36 million units. And that's it
Jesus.
only being on the market for at the time when the quarter ended, which that's only for the months of June, July, and August. And I think it ends at the tail end of August. September, October. Well, no. Hold up. No, that's basically for July, August, and rolling to the end of September. Correction on that, all the way to the end of September. So these numbers is basically from the tail end of September, which stopped right before we managed to get the release of Pokemon Legends ZA, which dropped out in October, and we
Which
know that's a system seller moving. So that doesn't in fact
we
factor in
yeah,
those
that
Switch twos that might have sold in that month of October alone.
I forgot how much did that game sell again already?
Uh, Fooey. I want to say it was close to
It's
6 or 7 million or something.
6, 7. Yeah. 5.8 million copies in the first week.
Yeah, so pretty close to six. Yeah. And that was just within the first week. We know it sold a lot more since then. And the fact that we
Yeah.
know we got DLC coming out literally next month, I mean, it's just going to keep pushing it. It's just going to keep pushing it.
Yeah, no, that game's gonna do well, obviously. Who knows if they're gonna do like a bundle that comes with the DLC. Still so well, we'll talk about it next, but I don't know. It's still stupid that it's coming so soon. Um Either way though, um that those sales, even regardless of ZA, even if ZA didn't release and it stayed at 10 million for the next 2 months, that's crazy.
Okay. I finally
It's
found it. I finally found
it already almost outsold the Wii U,
it. Mm-hmm.
and that's in what like a fraction of the time. Which, yeah, like I know this thing's doing well. I thought it would lose momentum, but not yet. Maybe it will soon, but not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. All right. Well, in terms of the top 10 of Switch 1 games, I don't think the ranking has changed, but we can update some of these numbers. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. And it's kind of interesting because I don't know how much longer they're going to keep updating these numbers. For all we know, this might be the last time they say anything about
They
these numbers.
they still do it for the Wii. Like they still list it on their website for like the Wii and
Oh,
stuff.
this is probably just nobody really goes and digs
'Cause
that mess up
you,
because
you
it's
gotta
kind of,
remember,
yeah.
Zard, all of these games are still available on the Switch eShop. They're not out of print or stopping being sold.
Yeah. Or at least not for the Switch 1. Yeah.
Think about it like this. Theoretically, like I'm just gonna make a guess right now. Princess Peach Showtime could get a Switch 2 edition tomorrow. You know? And that game could sell, I'm not saying it will, but the game theoretically could sell like 15 million copies all because of the Switch 2 edition.
That'd be a
So
big
yeah,
ass.
I'm just saying that it could happen. Well, let's just say a big title like Smash Ultimate, blah blah blah. I'm just giving examples. Let's just say another big Switch 1 title got an update. I'm sure they want to keep those numbers. The Animal Crossing's right around the corner. There's a lot of people that are buying a Switch 2 as their first Nintendo system that are going to get Animal Crossing soon.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why you would, but like yeah.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. All right. So in terms of the top 10 of Switch 1 games as it stands from September 30th of this year, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe comes in at 18.53. Number 9 goes to Super Mario Party. Gosh, 21.23 million units.
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom sitting at 22.15. Pokemon Sword and Shield sitting at 26.96.
Jesus fucking
Scarlet and
Christ.
Violet. You know what? I can't remember, Steven. I thought Scarlet and Violet might have been below Sword and Shield I know it was at one point. I want to say it might have been in the last time we reported these numbers because now it's over Sword and Shield at 27.61.
No, that sounds right. I think it did pass it.
I'm trying to think. What was it past the last time we reported on these numbers? Dang.
I don't think so.
Mm.
Maybe I think they might have like Pokemon Company themselves might have made a press release about that actually.
Mm.
I remember that. I remember like Pokemon Company making some kind of post about how like Scarlet and Violet has outsold a certain game. I don't know. Either way though,
Okay.
Pokemon are system sellers, you know? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then, see, I'll remember when this one finally hits it, if it ever does. Maybe it needs a Switch 2 edition or something. Super Mario Odyssey still sitting in at 29.84 million units. I want that thing to crack 30 just to round that
Give it
number
to
up.
me.
Gosh dang it. Breath of the Wild sitting in at 33.34. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 36.93. Then you have Animal Crossing New Horizons at 48.62. And then the king that will not be stopped. And it's trying to round its number up as well. We'll see by the time we get the next updated numbers in like February, I believe. But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 69.56 million units. It's close to knocking on the doorstep of 70. Woo! Man, that's the king that can't be stopped. But yeah, that's it in terms of the numbers for the top 10 for Switch 1. And to put it in comparison to some Switch 2 games that we managed to get thus far, and these are the only two games we can talk about Switch 2 game sellers. Donkey Kong Bonanza comes in at 3.49 million units sold. It's not too snobby. I mean, I think that's like roughly 25-ish million. Or not, why did I say 25-ish
You gotta
million?
remember.
25-ish percent of all Switch 2 owners
Wait,
have that game.
3.4?
Yeah, 3.49, basically almost 3.5.
And how much did the Switch 2 sell? Like almost over 10 million?
Yeah, it's sitting at 10.36.
That's about a 30% attach rate. That's really good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I was hoping it was a
Like,
little higher, but I think that number could
yeah,
still. I think it has legs. I don't know how long the legs are, but I think it should still sell pretty well with Mario Kart World
but
going into the holiday season.
but remember, that's like a game that will sell into like that's a game that will be selling the whole generation.
That's true too.
Like it's a Mario Odyssey situation where that's a game they're constantly gonna market. It's getting those online events right now. I'm not saying anyone's playing those. Let's be honest, not a lot of people are
Shoot, I
playing those,
wouldn't, but
but it's there. Lanky and Chunky Kong are getting figures in the next one. You gotta play it.
Nah, Lanky's too whack. I don't know. Got a funny face though. But yeah, so that's what we got on the sales for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Then Mario Kart World, 9.57 million units. To put that perspective, there's 10.36 million roughly Switch 2s, and 9.57 of them have bought Mario Kart World. I am trying to do the quick little math up on there to see like roughly what that attach rate is. It's almost basically everybody that's buying the Switch 2 have probably picked up Mario Kart World at some given point. Let me see here exactly what that is. Oh shoot, that's way too big of a number right there. All right, so that's a 92% attach rate, 92.37%. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you can basically say for roughly every 10 people, 9 people, every 10 people that have a Switch 2, about 9 people roughly have Mario Kart World. That's not a bad attach rate whatsoever.
That's a fucking insane attach rate. Not even Wii Sports has that. Maybe it did at
No,
one point.
Wii Sports does because it was sold with the system. That had 100% attach rate. Maybe a little later on it didn't because maybe they pulled it out on some bundles. But at the start of like, if we compare these first 3 months to what the Wii's first 3 months, no, it would be 100% for Wii Sports.
Wii Sports sold 82.9 million. Okay, the Wii itself sold over 101 million.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. No, it came with every copy. No, I mean, yes, it's less. But at this point, if we were to rewind the clock back in time, the first 3 months of the Wii coming out, everybody had Wii Sports. They didn't have that. That's what I was talking about. But yeah,
I think it's more impressive.
Yeah.
It's more impressive because remember, Mario Kart World is a pack-in, but it's not free like Wii Sports was. Like
that
Wii
is
Sports is not, Wii Sports for all intents and purposes, I think they did sell it separately just in case, but it is a free game. Like it is the pack-in title. It's not, I don't think Wii Sports was ever accounted for in the pricing of the system. Anytime they made a bundle afterwards, I think it was the new Super Mario Bros. Wii bundle, still came with Wii Sports.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Reggie.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, honestly. And, Switch 2 Welcome Tour aside, which, it's funny, I don't think, do we have sales on Switch 2 Welcome Tour?
Heck no. We don't have sales on that. We don't have sales on the wheelchair basketball that we only play one time, Steven. We need to play it again. But like,
I know, it's coming. It's coming. We could do it for an NSO versus, I don't know, technically using NSO.
Yeah, technically. But yeah, those are the only two technically Nintendo games that came out that obviously we don't actually have like legit sales numbers for, but it kind of makes sense why they don't though. But yeah, that's an insane attach rate for Mario Kart World, and as long as they keep that bundle going, we don't know for how much longer because they didn't make any promises on how long they were gonna run that mess. Those numbers will still probably remain somewhat pretty high, at least for the time being.
Yeah, no, we will see, honestly.
So yeah, so overall, not bad in terms of updated numbers right now. And then in terms of some other stuff that they just happened to mention in terms of this meeting, they said going forward, Nintendo will shift its primary development focus to the Switch 2 and expand its business around the new platform. So I'm thinking, how many more Switch 2 editions we have left in the back of the pocket after Animal Crossing New Horizons got announced? Probably slim to none.
Well,
I think the Mario Wonder one makes sense because they got a whole movie coming around with Mario, so that makes sense. But beyond that, I don't know how many more Switch 2 editions that will be like a Metroid Prime 4 or Pokemon Legends ZA where they're both day and date. I don't think we'll see any more of those for sure.
You have to remember though, Switch 2 editions technically are Switch 2 development. For example, I don't know if you remember this. Switch 1 games on Switch 2 are not native. They are emulated technically. Like when you boot up Super Mario 3D World, that is a emulated game.
It's pseudo emulated and it has some weird stuff with the
Yeah.
hardware. I
Well,
remember what
well,
they
the
said
Switch.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah, while the Switch 2 editions are actual, real Switch 2 games, like being natively played through the system. That's the main difference, obviously. And, that's obviously performs better and is better, but that's that's a Switch 2 game, obviously. So I think that still counts as development for Switch 2. That just means that they're not going to make any games like for, I don't think they're going to make games with Switch 1 in mind primarily. Like, for example, I don't know, I think we're going to get more situations like Pokemon where the game technically can run on Switch 1, but it's not going to run like that great. They're not going to optimize it to run really well on Switch 1. We might get a lot more 30 FPS games coming out. I don't know, because in my mind, like, what else even could come to Switch 1? Technically, if we get Wind Waker or Twilight Princess HD, stupid shit like that, but, like, who even knows if Nintendo's gonna afford to put out a Switch 1 edition? You know what I mean?
Those would have been like the last two that I could have saw it with.
I'm saying, like, physical editions cost money to make. And if no
Yeah.
one's gonna buy them, why get them?
Yeah, those would have been the only two I could have possibly seen. Anything else, kind of with the
Like,
statement right here, I don't think they're going to do any more games like Pokemon Legends ZA or Metroid Prime 4 where
well,
you're going to
not
have a
even
Switch
that.
1 and a Switch 2 with a brand new release. Now, if it was like a post thing, like what we've seen with Wonder for a game that already exists, and then they get an update, there could be a couple more next year.
Well, I think what it
But
means,
outside of
or I
that, I
think
don't know.
I think what it means, because I was just thinking about it for a second. I'm pretty sure when it says that, it means like we're not going to get any situations like Galaxy 1 and 2. We're not going to get any more Switch 1 games that get free updates. Like Galaxy 1 and 2, they released the Switch 1 games, but they got that day 1 free update for Switch 2. I don't
Oh,
think we're
like
getting that
you basically just saying a game that's
any.
going to get a full on Switch 1, not necessarily a Switch 2
Yeah.
thing.
I don't think any more games are getting full on Switch 1 physical releases. I think Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life will
Those would be the
probably be the
last
last
two.
ones.
Those would be the last two because they're already
Everything else,
confirmed.
I think everything else will be marketed as a Switch 2 edition, and Switch 2 edition will be on the shelves. But if you want the Switch 1 edition only, you'll have to buy it digital. They are slightly making a digital only push, just a little bit.
Hmm. But yeah, so I guess that's it in terms of that one statement right there. They did give us some other numbers where they said roughly about 400 million Nintendo accounts have been created. That's kind of crazy because I
Interesting.
mean, there's
That's
not.
a lot.
I know because there's like only 150 ish Switch ones, with the
Well,
addition of
and then
10 that are Switch 2s. But then again, they might be tying some of that to maybe some Wii U 3DS data. Maybe I don't know.
you have to remember a lot of people share their Switch with their family. Three three people all on the same Switch could have different Nintendo accounts.
And that's true as well. And then also you have to have some Nintendo accounts when you're doing some of the stuff at if you want to do some interaction stuff with like Nintendo NYC or Nintendo San Francisco, and especially with the Nintendo World theme parks and stuff, like you got to have some things tied with the Nintendo accounts on that. So that could start to slowly add up to kind of get your number a little higher on that. So okay, 84% of Switch 2 players transition from Switch.
That makes sense.
That's a pretty impressive number. So that's like,
That's that's not necessarily a good thing though.
I
That
mean
means that they're
it's
not really raking in a lot of new customers. They're
well, it's
raking in
good
old
because you
customers.
want to get the people that have a Switch 1 over to Switch 2 because you know you're not releasing any more brand new games or not that many Switch 1 games versus Switch 2 games. So it's good to bring your audience over. That's good for that standpoint. But obviously, you still want to see, brand new people that haven't been in the Nintendo ecosystem. That makes sense. We'll have to see what that number updates to by the time we get the fiscal reportings done after the holiday season, because that's when you bring in new audiences, new kids on the block. Makes sense. They're obviously saying they're preparing more movies with an S in the future, which
Yeah,
obviously we had or the Mario movie. We know the Galaxy movie. We just already talked about that. We know the Zelda movie's in the works. That's supposed to be coming out in 2027. And then they
some
have two
footage got
questions.
leaked.
Yeah, and they had two question marks literally right below or right after that one. So it makes me think, I think one of them would be a Donkey Kong movie. I'm pretty sure about that one. As for another movie beyond that, I don't know. I don't know about another movie after that. I mean, I could see another Mario movie though, but I don't know. They could do another franchise, so who's to say?
Splatoon.
I don't think they'll make a Splatoon movie, to be honest.
I
But
think they will. I don't like what is wrong with making a Splatoon movie.
there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm like,
You have
it's kind,
marketable
it's kind
characters.
of weird because none of them talk though.
Yes, they do.
They go like, unless they're
Okay, but like
unless they're
you say
breaking the
that, but
mold or something. I guess they could technically, but
they
whatever.
very easily could. Like they have released lyrics for those songs from Splatoon 3 once in a while. I'm just saying, there's nothing stopping them. For example, the toads in Mario games just go I'm just,
Oh goodness.
they could.
Mm,
That's like semantics. Like they very well could just be like, okay, we're gonna make this, and toads talk now or something like along those lines.
yeah.
Or the Inklings, they just speak English now. Kevin Hart is voicing that one. I'm just saying, like, you can just do that. Like, it's come on, it's Nintendo. If they they'll do whatever they want. That's what I've learned. Nintendo does whatever the fuck they want as long as they're making money.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, and then and this was pretty interesting because they actually put out a new mobile app. It's not a game like that weird old Fire Emblem, whatever that thing is called. Oh gosh, that thing's an atrocity. Um,
It's gonna be shut down in like a year.
but apparently they released a Nintendo Store app for mobile outside of Japan. It allows you to browse Nintendo systems, accessories, games, merchandise, as well as check your play history as far back as the 3DS and Wii U. I actually downloaded that. I was able to actually check it. It's actually extremely accurate in terms of that. Like if you have multiple Switch systems, like me, like I had 3 of them at one point, I could finally see how many hours I put into Splatoon 2, and it said I played over like 1,000+ hours up on that mess. I was like, oh, finally, I can get some confirmed numbers on that. That's pretty cool. The only weird thing with this app is I don't understand why when you click on like you want to buy a game, then it pulls up your internet browser and then it brings you to Nintendo.com that way to buy the games. I feel like it should be all in one with the app. Nintendo's been taking some notes from me because I literally said I would love to see this as a side thing and be closer to like how PlayStation does with their PlayStation app. They're taking steps to some of those things I wish for that I predicted in some of my videos earlier on this year. It's just not fully implemented 100% well. I wish they would just kind of combine the few apps that they got and just kind of shove it all as one big thing. But I don't know. We'll see whether or not they do or not. I mean, they can keep the music app separate. That makes sense. But everything else could almost be shoved into one. The Nintendo Today app, this one for buying stuff like that. Shoot, even the Nintendo Switch Online one, that could be a tab within this app right here. Just saying though. But they're making some strides. They're trying to shake things up. So I can't knock the attempt per se.
Yeah.
Anything on that, Steven? I only have like one other thing.
What, on the news app?
Not on the news app, just
Oh, sorry.
the fiscal stuff, fiscal news in general.
Oh, no, nothing much. Well, okay. Pikmin 4 got an update. You don't have it on here, so I'm just gonna mention it quick.
Okay.
Pikmin 4 got a really nice update that my friend our friend Yoshi's been playing, where it like removes the auto lock on that they kind of force on you in that game, and he says it's making the game a lot better, and I believe him.
Hmm.
Apparently, it was causing a lot of issues when he was playing Pikmin 4, and he wanted some kind of update. Still no Switch 2 edition, still no performance updates, but for right now, this is a nice thing to have. I'm glad they did this.
Not bad, not bad. Okay.
Obviously, all I can say is that I hope out of all games that the game gets a Switch 2 edition. Pikmin 4 is a great game. Playing that thing in 60 FPS will be a fucking dream. But right now, at least, I am gonna. Oh yeah, they also added New Game Plus that lets you skip the tutorial at the beginning. I don't know if you remember; it was a long tutorial.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, now you can just skip the tutorial at the beginning pretty easily, which I love that. Just by doing New Game Plus, and then obviously you have a hard mode on top of that they added, which they also added the Pikmin 3 Deluxe when they did that.
Yeah.
So they just added a lot of like cool stuff for a free update. Um, it's a good game. Obviously, they still haven't put that on any good sales. Whenever it does go on a good sale, though, buy it, please.
Mm-hmm.
Show Nintendo we want Pikmin 5.
Yeah, and then the last thing I want to say on the fiscal stuff is they did have like a certain slide where they literally said, "Here are all the upcoming first-party games for Nintendo Switch 2 titles." In which case, we know Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4 will be getting those later on this year. Obviously, well, Kirby Air Riders literally this week. Metroid Prime 4 first week of December. But in terms of the other ones, they have it listed out. Animal Crossing, the New Horizons Switch 2 update, that's January 15th. Mario Tennis Fever, February 12th. Super Mario Bros.
Fire
Wonder
Emblem.
one, we know it's going to be spring of 2026. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, spring of 2026. Pokemon Pokopia, which they did confirm that's again coming out literally in March. I can't remember what day, but we'll circle back around
I
to
think
it.
like March 5th or something.
Yeah. Uh,
Early March, I know that.
and then Fire Emblem Fortunes Wii, some point in 2026, and Splatoon Raiders, some point in 2026. So as it stands now, including Switch 2 edition games, we have like a grand total of 7 games already confirmed for 2026 that could at least carry us over through the first half of the year.
Yeah,
There could
and
be more
I
stuff
know
for
it
the
was.
second half that we just don't know about yet, but those will get outlined in later directs.
And I know it's kind of obvious, but this is our actual first confirmation that it's our first confirmation that Splatoon Raiders is coming in 2026 because I think they kind of just left us on hold for that one.
I'm trying to remember. Did they say coming soon
I
or?
think they did. A lot of people thought it was going to be coming this year or shown in that September direct. It never was. Either way, though, we don't know much about that game yet, but I'm glad that they're getting some kind of Splatoon game on the system quickly.
Yeah, I'm
It's gonna
glad
look
that's the
really,
case.
yeah, it's gonna look really nice if Splatoon 3's update is anything to go by.
Hmm.
Either way, though, yeah, that's really all.
No, yeah, pretty much outside of that, that's it in terms of anything I wanted to report on with fiscal numbers, though. So, oh dear,
You know what?
no, I don't know what that was. My goodness.
Shit.
Um, just been talking too much since I've been out of the loop for a little bit on this, though. Shoot, dang, I'm looking at the time. You said you weren't gonna ramble too much, and I'm looking
I
at the rest
didn't.
of our
We just have a lot of
topics.
stuff. We have a
I
lot of
told you we
stuff. We
had a
can.
lot of stuff. We
All
still
right.
got like
Guess
5
what?
different topics.
Here's the thing. Kirby Air Riders comes out in fucking 4 days. We can talk about that really quickly,
All right,
and
let's
then
roll it.
yeah, let's lightning around this shit because we can always talk about some of it next time when we get more info.
All right, so yeah, so the Kirby Air Rider global test ride, it's been going down right now. They had
Just
it
ended.
going for 2 different weekends, and yeah, it literally just ended for this final session though. So it allowed people to kind of get online, test out some of the different stuff. It's all been mostly centered around city trial, not just like standard races, unfortunately. But I mean, it's been pretty good. I can probably tell myself that I probably won't be too much of a city trial fan. I might just be in it just for more of the traditional races. I feel like that might have a little bit more of a general appeal to me though. But I don't know. There's also that single player kind of campaignish thing that they kind of tease with that one Kirby character or whatever though. So I have to mess around
Yeah,
with that just a little bit though. But I mean, the game looks nice. It looks clean. It's a little bit fun and stuff. There's a lot of crazy, wacky stuff up on it, though. I only got to play it for the better part of like what 40 minutes. And Steven, you
yeah.
got to play it longer than me.
I'm really liking the game so far. When you start collecting a bunch of items in City Trial, it becomes batshit insane. Like I was speeding across the map. I was flying all the way into the distance to this like secret island. I missed it, but I almost got there. When you get a bunch of power-up items, it feels really good, like knocking into and destroying other players' vehicles. City Trial is a lot of fun once you learn how to play and once you learn where stuff is, Zard. Which when you play Road Trip, the single player, it's gonna make you play like City Trial, which you'll get better at it obviously by playing it by yourself. It's like one of the main modes. It just takes a little bit of time. I feel like it was kind of a bad representation this demo because like, you play with 16 people, but then you go into like the stadium and you're only facing like 4 of them. It like divides everyone up.
Yeah, which I wasn't expecting anything like necessarily perfect or anything great or whatever though, but it's pretty cool, and I like how the fact you're able to play as all these different characters and versus like what in the original GameCube one, which I have that one.
There's different Kirby's.
Is just different color Kirby's for the most part. Meta Knight, DDD were also playable, but they came with a lot of restrictions in terms of what you can kind of race with or what you were able to do with them. It kind of opens up the floodgates a little bit more because thank goodness, because I think I'll just be a Meta Knight main while playing this game. I'll probably change whatever different, you
He has
know,
costumes.
yeah. Well, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Also,
He
you
has
can give him
costumes.
hats.
Now I
You can
don't know
give
about
Meta
no
Knight.
hats. I don't think Meta Knight can rock no hats. I'm just saying.
You can give him a helmet and give him a top hat. Isn't that fucking epic?
Heck no, top hats, kind of whack.
I'm just saying there will probably be at least one hat, and then remember you can customize your entire vehicle, which that's gonna make a lot of people are gonna just spend time doing that.
Hmm.
You could look on the online shop, see if anyone's made some cool vehicles, and buy them.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far the customization. They probably talked about it in one of those long Sakurai
Zard,
presentations, but
I know you skimmed through it. If you talk about the customization on the customization on the vehicles,
yeah,
it is very extensive. You can do so much.
like
You
for
can put
example,
decals and
I'm just
stickers.
I know you can do decals and stickers. I'm not a fan of that. Can you completely change the color? Like for example, Kirby on that standard warp star. Could I make that light blue if I wanted to?
Yeah, you can make the fucking
Okay,
warp
now
star
that's
any color
that's
you
pretty
want.
sick. That's pretty
You
sick.
can
Besides
you
decals and
can put
stickers is just kind of
stickers. Yeah,
whatever though.
yeah,
But you can
decals
change
and
the
stickers.
whole entire color. Like we're talking about paint job stuff. Then you kind of
Yes,
got me. Okay.
there's special colors as well, like a rainbow gradient you can put on it that's like animated. You can put certain effects that follow behind you as you're boosting. You can put little plushies on it. You can put like little decorations on it, like a flag you can attach to the back of it, or a little plushie hanging from it, or a keychain type of deal.
Mm. See
A
now
lot of
that
cool
you can
stuff.
only really show off if you're doing a bunch of races versus I feel like City Trial. Because City Trial, you're just trying to get whatever you want,
Yeah,
and
and
depending on the
also Top Ride
situation. So yeah,
technically.
and top ride a little bit. Yeah.
And you can go to people's garages they showed. Like I think if you like meet them in a paddock, you could be like, "Oh, let me go to your garage."
Yeah.
And you could like show them off there. You could just have a selection of like your coolest looking vehicles on display, kind of like in real life. Obviously, people do that in like car shows.
Yeah.
Either way, though, it's looking great. I just because here's the thing: Air Ride, you technically could play Air Ride like the racing mode, but it was only It was only 3 courses, and it was like a set amount of laps. It wasn't like you couldn't pick the rules, and it was only against CPUs. I would have really liked if they had some online testing for Air Ride mode because that's the mode that's looking really fun to me. City Trials obviously looking fun too, but I think Air Ride is the mode that no one's talking about, which is going to probably be the more fun one.
You talking about the top down view one?
No, just Air Ride's the main racing.
Oh, the main no, I feel like that's gonna be my absolute. That's the one that I'll probably put the most time in
Yeah.
versus City Trial.
I
Maybe Top Ride I'll
yeah.
mess around with a little bit, and then obviously the story mode. But yeah,
I can't wait to play this game a ton. I'm very excited for this game just because I never played the original that much.
oh yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. And I
Yeah,
feel a little bit better about this purchase now because would it be my birthday this past weekend? A lady got like a Best Buy gift card, so I don't have to worry about paying the full $70 on this mess. So I feel a
well,
lot better walking up into getting this game now.
no, I gotcha. And obviously, happy birthday, Zard. It's coming up, I know.
You
This
said
is why the
coming up?
podcast.
No.
Yeah,
It's already
your
passed.
birthday's.
It's already
Oh, it did.
passed. It's already
Your
passed.
birthday passed.
I told you it was on Friday.
Oh, I thought you meant this coming Friday.
No.
Damn it.
Oh, okay. I didn't specify on that. No. It
All
was
right, I
the
didn't
past
know that.
Friday.
I know I was on vacation. Either way, happy late birthday. I made this podcast extra long just for that.
Oh gosh.
I'm joking. No, yeah. Either way, though, Air Ride demo was great, and the game's coming out in well, it's midnight now, so technically 3 days.
Oh yeah, midnight for you. I still got one more
Yeah,
hour.
yeah, I got you.
All right, so yeah, so that was all good. Kirby Air Riders. Really looking forward to it, and obviously by the time we have our next episode, we'll have that game in our hands. So we'll be doing a pretty big deep dive up into that game and giving all of our thoughts on that. So yeah, that's pretty good. Real quick, we did manage to get some updated news on Pokemon Legends ZA, that Mega Dimension DLC. The big major key takeaways is that DLC literally comes out in the month of December. So we don't even have to wait that long for it. I think I want to say it's December 11th, which is about a week.
10th.
10th. Okay, thanks for correcting me. 10th, which is roughly about a week after Metroid Prime 4's release date. And I think the biggest draw on this thing was the fact that you can go into these hyperspace dimensions with Hoopa and run into these Pokemon that are like above level 100. That right there is pretty
It's like a
cool.
roguelike mode where you go in, you get ingredients for donuts, and then you make donuts that make you more powerful going back in.
Yeah, so I'll see how much mileage that gets out of me. And I know for some people that like to shiny hunt, because I know there's going to be extra Pokemon you can catch in these dimensions only that you can't get in the regular game.
Yeah. For example,
That's
they
going to be
teased
hard.
Primal. Yeah, sorry, they teased Primal Groudon and Kyogre, and also Mega Rayquaza.
Yeah, so those would be cool that, having your collection as well. So I think this should round up all of the old megas that we don't have in the game. Like, for example, Mega Sceptile. I'm pretty sure he'll get introduced here in this DLC and
I think
stuff.
all the Hoenn, yeah,
So
all the
yeah,
Hoenn starters.
so all the rest of them that weren't able to get in the game will be in here, and they talked about some new megas as well, like Mega Baxcal. I think that's his name.
Baxcalibur.
Yeah, Mega Baxcalibur, which I love it when my pseudo legendary, my dragons, they manage to get extra treatment or whatever. Though this is weird. They should have just gone ahead and gave the man more spikes, made him look like full on Godzilla, and it would have been
I think
perfect.
no. I think it just needed tail spikes and it would have been good because besides that, it looks a lot better than the original Baxcalibur. And then you also have Mega Chimecho, which looks funny. Honestly, I like that one.
That one looks all right. I ain't much of a Chimecho kind of guy, but it looks all
I'm
right.
I'm not a Chimecho kind of guy either, but he's just a big ass wind chime now, like the full thing.
I'm like, bro, that dude's gonna blow away. Woo.
It's good. I like it honestly. I don't know if any of their typings change, but it's cool.
Yeah, so we'll see how many other brand new megas we'll get up in this, and this will be like the last little stretch of Pokemon getting mega evolutions, and that's gonna be the nail in the coffin until who knows when they're gonna bring it back. Well, I
I think
guess it'll
Gen
be.
10 will have them.
Oh, that's a bold statement to have it in
I
Gen
think it
10.
will. I don't think it's gonna have all of them. I think they'll have some,
Okay, okay.
mostly the new ones.
We'll see. We'll see. I can see it in Pokemon Champions because obviously you'll be able to do all the gimmicks in that game though. But to do it in
Yeah,
Gen 10,
I just feel like they're introducing these new Pokemon, all these new megas, and they're making megas a big marketing point again. I feel like it would just be such a wasted opportunity if they're not in the next game,
okay.
especially considering that not all of them have even been officially revealed yet. Like there's some like Mega Skarmory or Mega Zygarde that they still haven't actually talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry if I like accidentally. It's been a month. I don't fucking care. Whatever. It's
Mm,
it's a game.
mm,
It's ZA. I
mm.
thought it was pretty obvious.
One of them
Sorry.
you could have passed off, which that would have made sense. Anybody and their mama might have been able to predict one, but the other one, like, gosh, dang it, Steven.
All right. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, though, let me keep this train moving before he spoils more stuff. All right, that's pretty
Yeah.
much it for the DLC for that. So I'll be picking that up closer whenever that game comes out because I'm not pre-ordering it now. Too much stuff to get. But anyway, good stuff right there. Pokemon Pokopia. Oh gosh dang, I ain't got enough time on all of this mess. I might have to make a separate video for this as well. But they managed to get an overview trailer for this game. The game looks all right. It's made by the same people that happened to I think it's Koei Tecmo, But it's the same team that helped made the Dragon Quest Builders 2 game, which I really love that game. Don't get me wrong. That game's amazing. But I don't know, something about the direction of where this game is going. They probably got some people standing over their shoulders. When I'm looking at this game, it just doesn't look that super impressive to me, at least personally speaking, though. But all thoughts aside of just the way how the game looks and stuff, and the way how you got that weird Tangrowth professor and stuff, once we saw the way how they said they put out a little trailer on YouTube with the release date before we even had the actual trailer of this game, and said, yeah, this is going to be a Keycard game. Who that had everybody and their mama up in a tizzy. But like all Nintendo fans, the second they showed off some weird old forms of like Pikachu and a gray, washed out Mickey Mouse looking mess like that, everybody kind of chilled out again. I'm like, okay.
That's all that they need is some marketable ass designs. You know, have all the artists make art for a bit. I don't know. It's okay. I like the moss lax. It's kind of neat, but I don't know, man. It'll probably be a perfectly serviceable, fun little game. It will probably be a good game. I just think $70 and also being a game key card is hard to stomach.
Yeah, for some people it will be, but at the end of the day, it's gonna be Pokemon. At the end of the day, and I don't think
I
too many
know, but
people are
like,
gonna
fuck,
really
dude.
scoff over this too much, to be honest. But I don't know. That's a weird one where it's like, dang, because it's not developed in house from Nintendo, it technically can fall into the realm of a key card, which for a lot of people we were just thinking, oh, first party game. I know Pokemon's in this weird little second party ish realm or whatever. Though I get it though. But most people assume when you see a franchise like a Pokemon or Mario or Zelda or whatever, no matter what it was, even if it was made by some other different company, it was always going to be on the cartridge and that was going to be it. But I guess as long as it's not developed by Nintendo themselves or in strong collaboration, like it's done partially in house and with some other people, if it's completely hands off and it's made by a different studio or whatever, though, they source it out, there's a chance because of the licensing and stuff and the way how they get the cuts and all of that. There's a chance they could get a game key card just like this game. So there's never going to be a true way where you can actually own this game physically and not be tied to anything online with a download or something. This is something to really think about right there.
It's interesting. I don't know. I'm sure they'll like eventually be like, fine, we'll do a physical release, or maybe in Japan only or something.
Oh, that'd be interesting if they did that, but we will see. We will see.
I don't know. Obviously, like once Switch 2 modding is cracked wide open, the game will be preserved. It's just bad for preservation, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really like being able to open up my Switch copies and be able to play them right away.
Yeah, that is going to be something because now we're kind of in that realm of, well, you know what? We're almost going to be pretty close to where we are with a PS5 and a Xbox Series console now, where it's like you can't just stick the games up in there and just play them instantly anymore for what's going to be almost the better part of like 80 to 85% of all games. You're literally going to have to put it in and turn around and download it from the internet before you can even play it, which is almost the same equivalent, maybe like, not as fast as whenever you buy a PS5 game. You can't just play it off the disc. You have to literally install it. It's going to feel the same way. It's going to feel the same way. It's going to be
different.
No, I mean it is different. Like you're able to get it off the disc versus downloading it from the internet, but the process that you're downloading something to the console, it's the same in game at the end of the day. It's two different ways how you start it, but you're going to come down to the same solution that it's going to have to get downloaded to your console.
No, you're right about that.
So yeah, this is going to be weird to have to think about, oh, we're going to have to do this technically now with Switch 2 games as well. So I'm fully expecting, we won't have that whatsoever where you're able to play it straight off the cartridge anymore. Whatever comes out to the Switch 2, it's going to be just like the competition, unfortunately. But But yeah, that's all I got on Pokemon Pokopia. So we'll switch over to the last two topics. Woo! We're almost there, Steven. Almost there. Metroid Prime 4 previews have finally gone out about this game. And I like how everybody and their mama was like, oh my goodness gracious, we need something on this game. These trailers are horrendous. They don't look good. We've been waiting 8 stinking years. It's almost been a whole decade. People have been having YouTube channels literally waiting on this whole entire game for the whole entire life, outside of just a few over there, though. And I'm like, oh gosh, y'all need to calm down. They finally gave us the preview events because people kind of felt some kind of way with them advertising Kirby, Air Rider so much and barely giving any love to Metroid Prime 4. We finally got it. People at the preview events have managed to get their hands on this game for about an hour and a half, 2 hours or something like that. Showed off some footage there. Nintendo did their own overview trailer. And after looking at it, the game looks, solid, fine to me. But then other people started noticing when they started looking at other people's stuff. Yeah, there's some NPCs that like to chit chat a little longer than what they're, longer than a warm welcome that you might have would have gave them. And then some people are like, that might that might hurt the isolation field or the suspense that you might have within most Metroid games when you're trying to go through and explore and figure out things by yourself versus having somebody right behind you. What feels like all the time, but it's not really going to be all the time. I could tell you all that right now.
Yeah, like it's still going to be a Metroidvania. I think it's a stupid complaint. Like we haven't even played this game yet. For all intents and purposes, it could be a different type of game.
Yeah, it really could. And I feel like this is probably you're going to get more of those human interaction with other Federation Force people closer towards the beginning in your what you dub as your tutorial-ish area, and then sporadically throughout the world, because I think you're going to be trying to go through and help save some of these Federation Force people or whatever, though. So at major pivotal points where you unlock a new area, that's where you probably have to interact with them again. But in everything else in between, I don't think you will have anybody with you per se. So
yeah, like I think they'll be at the pivotal moments when you're doing your basic exploration or going through most of an area, you'll be by yourself. But then whenever you get to like the main portion of an area or whenever you get a new upgrade, you'll meet up with one of them because they said that you'll get new upgrades from these guys. So just an example, I'm assuming there's like this big robot guy that seems like he's a companion. I don't know if you've seen that. Big robot guy, and he'll probably give, just for example, like super missiles or something. You'll get to him, and then he'll give you super missiles, and then you could probably use those to like progress or go back through that area and get some stuff.
You know what? Now that I sat down and thought about this, Steven,
yeah,
they're literally pulling ties from Metroid Fusion. Remember how you'll get so far in that game and you stop at a terminal and then you have to talk to whoever was, behind that screen or whatever, though?
What's Adam, yeah.
Yeah, Adam. It's literally that, but you're doing it with a whole bunch of different people versus just one person. And you're doing it in person versus, typing it in on a computer and interacting that way. That's legit what this all is.
And people had issues with Other M because there was like humans and there was voice acting. The issue with Other M, at least in my eyes, was that it mischaracterized Samus like really badly, in my opinion. While this game looks like Samus is the same cold, calculating hunter that she's always been. Samus isn't really quipping with all of these guys. I think it's kind of interesting to see a different perspective. Samus, like this hardened bounty hunter that has been through so much with these rookies, these like Federation officers. Think about it, like Samus is like a legend to them. She's like this legendary bounty hunter. So they're obviously not gonna be like her. Like, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting to have some world building and some more charming aspects to a Metroid game. Obviously the isolation factor is good for certain games. Like, I think it worked really well for like something like Dread. The isolation feels great. But in other games, I don't know. I think setting a certain standard that a Metroid game has to be like this isolation based game is kind of stupid in my opinion. Like, let it be whatever it wants to be. The only issue, obviously, is the one guy, the nerdy looking guy with the glasses. People are saying his dialogue's like too quippy. And I'll admit, it's kind of annoying. I hope he's not in the game for too long. But, like, it's not terrible.
Yeah, no, I heard about people saying about that one scene with that one dude. I hadn't seen the clip just yet. Maybe I should, but maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. It's like I've dealt with worse. Like, for example, I fucking love Donkey Kong Bonanza, but Pauline can get a little annoying at times. I don't let it fucking ruin the game for me. Anyone that, like, says, oh, I'm not buying the game because of that is like, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
Everything else about the game looks fucking amazing. Bosses look amazing. I'm glad they're still kind of being. They're not really showing a lot still.
No, they're just showing just enough,
Yeah.
and this is probably the
Yeah, they
last bit of
showed.
major information we're getting outside of. You might see a
Oh, it
little
is.
snippet of something on a TV ad or something that they just might randomly put out there, but
Yeah.
this is gonna be it because we're literally about what 3 weeks away from this game coming out. So
And remember, this will be a Switch 1 game. It's gonna get leaked early.
I hope not, but you're probably
It,
right.
it will. No, it will. It will definitely get leaked early. All it takes is one physical copy, even a Switch 2 edition leaking, and that's enough.
Oh yeah, because you could technically play the Switch 2 edition cartridge
Yeah,
in a Switch 1. Yeah.
it's all it takes.
Mm. All right. Well, yeah. So I think that's pretty much all we had to say on Metroid Prime 4. We're almost at the finish line, y'all. This game's almost finally in our hands. We can finally, lay this one to rest. Gosh, it's crazy to think that this was one of those first few Switch 1 games shown, and it's literally going to be like one of the last few to come out on this console. Gosh dang it.
Yeah, it really is like the cap end to the generation, really.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, overall, good stuff right there. Good stuff. All right, that's going to do it in terms of all the Nintendo news. I got one more thing that's not Nintendo news, but I say it's probably the biggest news that we managed to get literally this past week. Valve came out here with some brand new hardware stuff, and they weren't pulling no punches. I literally looked at all three of these things that they had brand new. I was like, okay, they got a Steam controller. All right, that's fine. That looks kind of cool. They have a VR headset. I was like, okay. I mean, there's a lot of VR headsets and stuff before I started looking at all the tech inside of it, which made it really impressive, to be honest, though. But the major flagship thing, that Steam machine, the thing that's small enough where you'll be able to fit in your entertainment system in your living room to be able to plug it easily into your TV. So it's still technically a computer in that aspect, but it kind of bridges the gap a little bit with console gaming. You'll have your whole access to your Steam library within the comfort of your living room. Just plug an HDMI cable up into that, the back of your TV, boom, bada bing. You're able to play all your Steam games with either that Steam controller or some other kind of controller easily. Don't have to worry about like the Windows architecture or anything like that. You just quickly, just boot up your games, fire it up, and then you're on and off to the races. That right there, when I saw that, I had to rub whatever I had out of my eyes out of there for a split second. I was like, wait, what the heck? Ain't this what Xbox is trying to do? And I was like, oh my gosh. Even Phil Spencer himself had to give a little update on this thing. And I was like, I know he was kicking himself even after he sent that update out on Twitter or whatever, though. But, oh man, Valve, they ain't playing around no more, man.
Yeah, Xbox is dying right now. They're rolling in their grave that they dug for themselves, honestly. Because the Steam machine looks like a really convenient device. I don't know how much it's gonna be, but like considering it's a small form factor and it's got no physical game slot, and to my knowledge, it's not really gonna have like that many features in the actual UI. Like, it's just a computer, really. Hopefully it should be around 500, which I think is a good price point for this thing.
It'd be nice if that thing is 500. However, I would not surprise me if it's a little more. 600, I think they
Yeah,
can still kind of get away with. Once it gets 700 plus, you might start losing some people.
we will see. Honestly, I personally think 500 or 550 will be like the perfect price point. Maybe because remember, there's gonna be 512 gigabyte, I think, and then a 2 terabyte for the
Mm-hmm.
sizes. So
Oh
maybe
yeah,
the
so
two
there's gonna be
terabyte.
two different. So I mean,
Yeah,
even if you were to
it's gonna.
do the low end of the 512, that could come in at. Well, you want 500.
Yeah,
I'll just say 600. That can come in at 600, but then the 2 terabyte edition one that could easily come in at like 1,000, roughly,
god damn.
maybe.
I hope not. That's way too much. Either
But the
way,
good
though,
thing is you can change your memory out at any given point. There's a micro SD card in the front slot if you want to do that.
Express, Express micro SD card, same one that Switch 2 uses.
Now I saw the spot in the front. They just said micro SD card.
Oh,
I don't
it
know if
said
you're
on
able.
their it said on their website high speed micro SD express or
Oh,
something
it
along
did
those
say
lines.
that.
It's
Okay,
yeah,
that's
no, I don't know.
interesting. Because I was about to
Weird.
say I didn't know if you could play like stuff that would have been on the older generation console. So anything you might have played on the PS4 or down, a standard micro SD card might have worked fine for those games. But obviously stuff on
Yeah,
the PS5 generation, Xbox Series, Switch 2, you
yeah,
need to have solid state drives. So the express cards would have came into play. So I
yeah.
could see it for
This
that part.
this thing's gonna be 6 times as more powerful than the Steam Deck, apparently. So I kind of understand a little bit that they have to accommodate.
Mm-hmm. And
Either
then
way, though,
you can also change out your storage, not even just with the SD card in the front. You can actually pop the thing off. I think the spots in the back, so you can upgrade your solid state drive with the NVE drive and whatever. You can do it that way as well.
yeah. Either way, though, it looks like a great little device. Considering that Steam has a ton of free games, a ton of demos, and also, let's be honest, like a ton of games that go on good sales all the time. It's gonna be nice because you could just go online and find like a humble bundle or something, get some nice Steam keys, and just play it directly on your Steam machine.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I'm
yeah,
excited for it, honestly, especially because let's be honest, like it's gonna be a more easily accessible way to do like couch co-op for like your Steam games or like the remote play or this or that. I might honestly eventually get it just to have it set up like somewhere else in my house.
yeah, and I know like some of our other buddies, like Santa Q, he was thinking about possibly getting it. I mean, for me personally, I mean, it would make sense for me to have one, but at the same point, I'm like, I,
You spent a
I
lot of money on the PC.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I already have an actual PC that can play everything I need right over here. I have my ROG Ally that I can take on the go or plug it into my external GPU, which when I plug it into that, it's equivalent of like me having a 30 series already plugged in and being able to play that on the TV as it is already. So I'm like, there might not be super strong of a need for me to have something like that unless I wanted to plug it into one of my other TVs I have in the house. But at that point, it's like, whatever. So I don't think the Steam machine will get much use for me personally. The thing I'm personally eyeballing is that VR headset because I wasn't necessarily one to really look into VR. I've been kind of dabbling, looking at stuff here and there, though. Nothing has genuinely impressed me really a whole bunch. But that thing right there, that what they're cooking up, is interesting because it's a headset where you don't necessarily have to have a PC whatsoever. You don't have to necessarily have anything wired in. Yes, you can stream stuff from your PC straight over there to you. And it's interesting because they give like a dedicated USB you plug into the back of your PC, and it's on its whole exclusive Wi-Fi network. I hadn't seen this with PlayStation. I hadn't seen this with Xbox or anything like that. They have a dedicated network only that communicates with that device and your PC all at once. Probably cuts down on the latency, lag, and anything else that could be interfering with streaming stuff. And even then, they had like some eyeball technology where if you look at a certain spot within the lenses, you get a lot more information in that one specific spot where it's like, okay, it gives you like the highest definition of details in that specific spot where you're looking at, and everything else is either like blacked out or not as clear. But in the moment you start drifting your eyes to that other spot, all of the information comes in, so it saves on the bit rate and the bandwidth that you might have been using for streaming. So I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. And from all of the preview events I
Yeah.
heard, people said they tried to, glitch the thing out, try to look in the area that might have been blacked out or what, they could not pull it off. So they might be onto something like that. And not only the fact you can stream, the fact that it is a PC in that headset itself, you can download the specific games you want to play straight up on there, whether they're VR games or I guess it could technically just be a game off of your Steam library. You could be sitting there, blank wall in front of you, and you want to play some Ninja Turtles or something like that. It'll act like you're projecting the game on the wall when you're looking at it, and it can completely play the game stationary, sitting still. I think that has a lot of charm with it just being able to do stuff like that as well. So I had my eyes on that, and I know a lot of people probably had their eyes on the Steam machine, but I'm kind of curious in terms of how they're going to price everything between all of this stuff as well as that Steam controller. I'm not really digging the Steam controller, the way how they got them track pads
Okay.
on that thing. I don't know.
So the Steam controller looks fucking wacky, but it probably is really comfortable. Like it looks like it's a really comfortable controller. It gives me vibes of the original Xbox controller, just for how chunky it is.
It is a beefy boy.
And to be honest, Zard, like it might kind of look weird, but it will be able to do anything. Those trackpads kind of enable it to do whatever you need it to do for most Steam games.
I'm looking at those trackpads. I guess if you can use one of the trackpads, it's like almost like a little mini mouse pad. And if you had
Yeah,
to tap or
basically.
do something, then I guess that I mean, because I was kind of looking for something the way how I set up my setup with playing my PC games on my TV. I was kind of looking for any kind of attachable accessory where I can quickly, easily do that or whatever. I guess this controller would probably be the best way of doing it. I just hate the form factor of the thing, but I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know how much better you could do with it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got
Uh,
trackpads that big, so
Yeah, and obviously Steam Big Picture supports basically every controller. You can connect whatever you want to this damn thing.
yeah. So that's how I be using my Xbox controllers. The only thing I really use with Xbox or whatever though. But
It's
yeah,
the only thing Xbox is good for,
yeah.
fuckers.
Hmm. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it in terms of the Valve information. So obviously, once we get included information on this in terms of like price point or anything like that, that'd be really cool. But I mean, this one, I think it's like a direct threat to Phil Spencer and everything they wanted to probably do with the new Xbox, because I think they're trying to bridge the gap between PC and console. And it's kind of funny how Valve's just kind of beating them to the punch on this one. So
Yeah, no, it's a very interesting situation. I wonder how it's gonna go. I wonder if Steam Machine is gonna be something that's gonna be like commonly sold in stores, or if it's gonna be like only Steam people can get it.
oh yeah, I feel like they probably will still only sell this online. I don't think they're gonna actually sell these on the shelf. Well, hmm. Well,
We'll
hmm.
see. Either
They
way,
could. I don't know.
I at the end of the day, I just hope it's a good device because it's definitely the form factor is really nice. It's nice and small. And if you can bring if this thing is really as good as they're saying, that would be very nice just to have on the market. Something that very consistently plays these games that's not a PS5 or Xbox Series. Because, like, Switch 2 does play multiplats, but, like, I'd rather get them on PC.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. With some of the multiplats, yeah. If you don't care about having the game physical, which I mean, for a lot of Switch 2 games, if they keep doing game key cards, it's basically the same equivalent. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really only got the same complaints with the Steam Deck. Only complaints I'd have, with the Steam Deck are it really depends on how big of a Steam library you got. Same thing with this. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. If you have a big Steam library, go right ahead. If you don't really have anything in your Steam library, maybe build it up a bit and come back.
Yep. All right. Anything else on this, or otherwise we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. Man, I'm getting
I
tired.
think that's all. Yeah, no, we had it was a big show, and obviously, what we're gonna be. I'm assuming skipping next week because of like Thanksgiving weekend, or no, it's fine.
Well, it'll be 2 weeks from now,
Whatever,
so it'll be on the
whatever it is.
30th.
Yeah,
That 30th, we'll still be playing it by. I'll still be winging it because I'll still have company probably rolling out that day. I'm hoping everybody's gone by the time nightfall comes around.
well, yeah. So we'll
Hopefully,
find out because
so
then
we should be fine.
we'll do it on that day, and then we'll obviously do one right before Christmas. That works out.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of I planned some stuff out so I can tell y'all the schedule in terms of how to expect to have the rest of these podcasts for the rest of the holiday season. So we had this one here for episode 114. The next episode we're planning on it being on the 30th as long as everything goes smooth. And then the last episode will be on the 14th of December, the last regular one. I'll have my ZardCast holiday special sometime during the week of the 21st, and then that will be it for the podcast. That one, the holiday special, that one's always recorded. It's never live stream. I treat it as a premiere, but it's not like a live stream like this. I'll premiere that some point on the week of 21st, and then that'll be it for the podcast. And then we won't come back until like a couple weeks into January. is when the podcast will return, and then that's when we do our whole year-end review discussions and stuff for like the first half of 2025 and then the second half of 2025. So yeah, so that's just kind of the overview in terms of what you can kind of expect to hear on the podcast, though, in terms of like when we're going live and all of that stuff. And then hoping to bring our NSO verses and stuff back in between, those weeks that we don't have a podcast going on, though. So you can look forward to that as well. I'm trying to bring the content back. It's slowly going to be bringing, coming back into the fold, though. Just a heads up on that. All right, Steven, I'm tired. That bed's calling to me. Go ahead and give your outro.
Fair enough. All right. You can find me on Twitter at StevenJr1231, or you can find me on a collab channel I used to do with some friends. It's called Spaghetti Disco on YouTube.
Alrighty. And that's going to do it in terms of my ZardCast episode 114. But if you happen to really like this episode, make sure you're going to hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date. All things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. If you happen to be one of my audio only listeners that happen to be listening to this on either YouTube Music, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, yes, even iHeartRadio, you can listen to me in the car. Just make sure to leave your reviews, give it a 5-star review. Just let people know, hey, we're just a couple of dudes that just like talking about all things video game related, a few things pop culture related, and everything else in between, though. But yeah, that's truly going to do it in terms of this one podcast episode right here. We won't be live going for the next podcast episode until after Thanksgiving. So I hope that everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully y'all get to eat a lot of turkey, ham, whatever your holiday tradition happens to be. Or if you don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, that's all cool too. Just eat some good food between now and then. We'll catch y'all after that break, and we'll get you all covered for all of the Black Friday deals, because then that holiday season, it'll be officially on the way, and Mariah Carey will officially be thawed out of the ice. And then we can officially let her play and let her do her little mini run, and not a second before that. Gosh dang it. Alrighty, though. That's going to do it in terms of ZardCast episode 114, though. So remember, y'all, until our video I make next, until my next ZardCast episode, I'll see y'all later.